Yo, what is going on, everybody? So I've got a bit of a different setup today. I'm just wondering if one of you can drop a comment. Just let me know if you can hear me okay or not. Just hanging tight for that. One, two, three, four, five, six. All right, beautiful. Not in my car today. And the reason, one of the big reasons for that is I have this thing now. This chair is one of the most comfortable chairs I think I've ever sat in my life. So I'm really happy about that. What's going on at Aussie MGTOW Bear pub test? Successful endeavors, MGTOW life. Man, there's a lot of you guys in here. Andrew, Alan Moon, real names not given, Jimmy James, Beyond the Pale. I'm sorry if I missed anyone there, Mr. Medic. So guys, today is, I guess it's not super planned. So if anyone was expecting it to be, it's not. That was never my intention. This is more just a chill out session. I'm going to talk about some stuff that's going on at the moment. I'm going to bring up some articles. I'm going to share some pictures with you. We're just going to have a bit of fun today. So yeah, that's what today's going to be all about. Now, I've been collating a database for quite some time of a bunch of articles that I think would be of interest, and this is where I pull all of my articles for my videos from. At this point in time, I have just over 6,700 articles in total collected. And I'm going to, which one am I going to start off with today? Oh yeah, I got something for you. Let's get this bad boy up. Oh, this guy is just asking for trouble. Let me just here we go. We'll some of you may have heard of Mr. Bernie Ecclestone. There we go. There we go. Former F1 owner Bernie Ecclestone expecting fourth child at age 89. He's set to become a father for the fourth time with news his wife is set to give birth to his first son. So his other kids have obviously been daughters. And the 89-year-old billionaire will soon turn 90 after his son's birth. Currently in Brazil, self-isolating, he confirmed the news to a German newspaper. Yes, it's due this summer. Hopefully he'll learn to play backgammon soon. Now, just so we've got a bit of context here, let's bring up a picture of this new wife, right? Because I just want to give you a bit of a feel for where I'm going with this. Bernie Ecclestone, new wife. Here we go. There we go. There we go. So actually, she's a little bit younger than I expected. Is this 22nd of June? Okay, yeah, she's she's older than I expected. That's cool. She's obviously looked after herself. 43 years old. Just had a child to him. He appeared to be counting a wad of cash in his hands. He does indeed. And thank you to the Price is Right review for that $2 donation. He says, "Happy birthday, man. My birthday was yesterday." Happy birthday to you too, man. It's a cool time, right? It's just that day where you sort of get to kick back and relax a bit, at least for most people. I'm going to do my best to make that today for me. Riff says, "Take care of yourself, Sydney. Too many gobshites and thirsty ones out there." There we go. 100%. So thank you very much for those ones, guys. So yeah, I mean, look, there's nothing really too much to see with that one there. I'm just looking for something a bit juicy. Here we go. Here we go. This is what I was really looking for. What do you guys think about this? Landlords. Now, so this is the media's titling. This is clickbait if I ever heard it. Landlords asking for sex instead of rent during COVID-19 crisis. Now, would you look at who the publisher of this is? CNN. What a surprise. I mean, they're a totally reliable news source. Successful endeavors goes, it's a trap. Sorry, it's a setup. Yeah, it's a trap. Here we go. A government agency in Hawaii has reported an increase in the number of women reporting landlords asking for sexual favors in exchange for rent. Now, I'm not denying that this is possibly something that's happening, but there's a bit more to this. And this is why you guys should always read between the lines whenever you come across new information like this, because those are the devil in the details. So due to recent layoffs and furloughs, only 69% of renters were able to make rent at the start of this month. And the Hawaii State Commission on the Status of Women noted more cases being reported, suggesting, right? That's the key word, suggesting. So it's not actually saying it's fact. It's just, they're just suggesting that landlords are preying on tenants' financial stress. Here we go. Immigration attorney Kevin Block says instead of asking for rent, some landlords are asking for other arrangements and even sending graphic sexual images when female tenants ask about rent. Well, I wonder if those people are saying, is there any other arrangement we can come to? I mean, we see this all the time in porn videos and stuff like that. And I'm not suggesting that we resort to pornography scenes when it comes to paying rent. But the question has to be posed. It says here, Kara Jabola Corolis, Executive Director of the Hawaii State Commission on the Status of Women, says sexual harassment by landlords makes it hard for women to shelter in place. Well, gee, I wonder how hard it must be for men to shelter in place, given that they actually have nowhere to go and that women do have somewhere to go in Hawaii, because this sounds like a pretty one-sided department. How do I know that? Because it's the Hawaii State Commission on the Status of Women, not the Hawaii State Commission on the Status of People. And thank you, Connor McDougall, for that 10-pound donation. Says, have a couple of brews on me. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it. Oh, here we go. There was no there was no plan up front to prepare for the physical and sexual violence. Now, let me just go there for a second, right? Because we always hear about physical and sexual violence. Let's have a look at the definition of violence, shall we? Not the feminist legislation definition, the actual definition. You know, what English language was founded on? Violence is the use of physical force so as to injure, abuse, damage, or destroy. So the use of physical force, right? So how do you explain emotional violence if there's no physical force? How do you explain economic violence if there's no physical force? Because these things aren't actually violence. The word violence is used to create an illusion of men physically attacking women. And men have an innate internal response, no matter how aware of things we are and how much we've made the conscious decision to not get involved in things like this. There is still a very real situation and a very real consciousness that this is just the fact of the matter, that men are going to want to defend women that they see getting bashed. Like if you see a woman getting bashed in the street, don't tell me you're not going to, like, there's not something in you that instinctively says, hey, I need to help this person. Of course there is. That's not to say you will. That's not to say it's always in your best interest. I mean, maybe this is a codependent relationship where they're violent towards each other and you getting involved is going to result in something very bad for you. So it's like, but how do we know that it's going to be bad for us or not? This is where things get really murky, because this is where Me Too's taken us to. This is where the false allegation culture has taken us to. Anyway, I'm going to get out of that. But so I just need to make that the context for talking about sexual violence from the combination of shelter in place, lost income, and systemic sexism. We need to get the information on rights and resources out as fast as we can. An online guide was created by the Hawaii State Commission for Women if they are victimized by a landlord. The commission will offer guidance on emergency rent assistance and will also be keeping a database of bad landlords. So basically, if you expect a woman to pay her rent in Hawaii during this pandemic and she doesn't, they can accuse you of essentially asking them for sex instead of money. And I know that that's not going to happen in the majority of cases, but it is going to happen in some cases. Oh, we have got a little someone here to visit us to continue on with this. Hamahan, how you doing, brother? Welcome back. Welcome back.
Happy birthday, young man.
Thank you, my man. You're not looking too shabby yourself. You gotta be what, at least 35, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, sure, twice over.
Yeah, 100%. So, Hammer, we were just talking about how CNN put out a news report saying that landlords are asking for sex instead of rent during COVID-19 crisis, and the Hawaii State Commission on the Status of Women is saying that sexual harassment is rife amongst these landlords, essentially, by suggestion. And they're also putting out a guide on how women can deal with the victimization in the face of a landlord doing this to them.
Well, there's a real easy solution for that. If they're worried about who's going to be in their pussies, they can just take their rent payment to their town council or their local sheriff's office and turn it in, have the landlord pick it up.
Well, see, here's the thing. It says, and this is part of the guidelines from the Hawaii State Commission for Women, anyone victimized by a landlord should file a complaint. Now, we know what victimization means. It means someone feels upset, or someone,
it's anything they want it to be.
Yeah, it can actually, at this point, it can be anything they want it to be. And I know that it's ridiculous that is how it is, but that is how it is. So it says, normally tenants would have 180 days to report the incident to the Hawaii Civil Rights Commission, which takes jurisdiction unless it's a federally funded identity. Since they're closed due to the pandemic, victims are advised to contact the Legal Aid Society of Hawaii, which is the Free Vagina Aid Society of Hawaii, as far as legal matters, are concerned. So Ms. Jabola Carolus, the head of the Hawaii, what's it called, the State Commission for Women, has come out and said, and this is where I think it gets really murky, really dangerous, and really concerning from a legal perspective, right? With the Civil Rights Commission on shutdown. Retaliation by a landlord for filing a complaint against him is illegal.
Sure.
So basically, if he retaliates against a false claim, that's against the law.
If they prove it was retaliation.
But do they really have? Yeah. Well, do they really have to prove that there was retaliation? All they have to say is, well, he told me that if I didn't have sex with him, then he was going to kick me out. That's all I have to say. Because how are you going to prove otherwise if it was a one-on-one conversation? It's his word against hers.
Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, we were kind of predicting this a couple of weeks ago, especially when all of these articles started coming out about these fucking thoughts that were trading their ass for rent payments.
Yeah.
So they just flipped it around.
Exactly right. And like even here is saying, if your landlord changes the locks or shuts off your utilities for complaining about his sexual predation, you can file a landlord-tenant TRO against your landlord, and the court will take these cases during the crisis. Now, I don't think anyone should be going and changing locks, and I don't think anyone should be shutting off utilities if it's been 2 weeks, particularly in a pandemic like that. I mean, be fair, right?
Yeah, I agree.
But it says here, please contact Legal Aid Society of Hawaii for help with retaliation.
Well,
Right
look,
now,
man,
like
when you
think
see
about
that your
those words.
when you see your former senators from Hawaii, you know, Tulsi Gabbard and Mazie Hirono, it's no surprise to me at all that that fucking place is gyno cucked. I mean, gyno cucked.
Right. I'm actually going to the Legal Aid Society of Hawaii website right now. I'm going to bring this up in just a moment. I'm going to see what we can find. Right. And I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to search it live with you guys to see if I can find anything sus or not, because usually where there's smoke, there's fire. So it says, here's the wording, right? And this is what I'm really concerned about. Please contact Legal Aid Society of Hawaii for help with retaliation. Think about those words.
I think people, especially experienced landlords who have been through stuff like this, I mean, you're going to go through this in the first 6 months of any type of rental property. You're going to have this shit happen. Experienced landlords, I think, are too smart to fall for this. You know, you just start the process. If you have to get rid of them, if you got to get them out of there, start the process. Don't talk to them. Give them their eviction notice. Give them a time and a date. When that time and date comes and goes, you've done your job.
All of it in writing as well. All of it in writing.
That's correct. Document everything. Always. This is unfortunately, I hate to say this, it's the new reality that we live in with this broken female species.
Yeah, I mean, I would honestly would not be surprised, Hammer, if we reached a situation whereby men just, and I know this would be sexist to do, I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me if men stopped renting to women in jurisdictions like this.
That's not.
It wouldn't surprise me.
It's not sexism, not in my opinion. I mean, if you saw somebody come up with a grenade belt on them, would you rent to them?
Yeah, but that's
if
exactly
I saw
right.
Somebody coming up with 10 kids and they weren't wearing any shoes and they didn't have a fucking car and they were living off the state dole, I wouldn't rent to them. I don't care what the law says.
See, this is the messed up part, right? Because those people are the minority, whereas women, as a collective, they're half the population. I mean, you argue the semantics all you want about 51%, 49%, whatever. I mean, it's fairly well down the middle, you know. So
yeah, agreed.
To not rent to roughly half the population, I mean, that's a whole new level of protection. But it shouldn't have to be like this. But when you put stuff in place like this, then what's the alternative for men?
I don't think that, you know, I might get some shit for saying this, but I don't think that 51 or 52% of the population are thoughts. I think that there's some decent women out there, but they still operate underneath this system. And even though they may be unaware of it, you know,
how do we know which one's which until
you don't?
Late?
It's a fucking crapshoot. You're playing Russian roulette, and it's too late when you find out. So
and the women out there that are not like that, as you said, and as I agree with you, they get penalized because of the bad behavior of the ones that do things like this.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, I've got a guy that dogs me regularly who talks about, you said that all of those bitches were like that, you know, and he's real hot about it.
Yeah.
It's not all of them. I understand that it's not all of them, but all of them have the opportunity. Yeah, they've all got that chance to fuck you like that, and I don't. So, you know.
Yeah, that's right. By the way, I just wanted to get onto the super chats quickly. Hammer, I got Solza1 with $10 says just dropped in to give a super chat and say happy birthday. I got one of my regular followers, Shinobi1 with 350 NZ says
hey,
happy
Shinobi1, what's up, brother?
Also, what's up, Claus? Yeah, boy, Hammer Claus. I love that. And
no, it's Dirty Santa, man. Get it right.
Dirty Santa. And my boy Aussie Mick Talbert, always so generous, man, from the other side of Australia. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for that donation. I mean, at this point, right, you're sponsoring this video, so I just wanted to say thank you to Aussie Mick Talbert. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very, very much.
Hey, brother, I just wanted to crack in here 1 second and let you know.
Talk to me.
I was going to call a couple of other guys and let you know I just got 2 strikes inside of 3 days.
Oof. Damn.
Oh yeah. You know they're coming after it.
So what were you saying about the other guys?
I was going to call a few other guys and let them know. I don't know if you're going to have this up on YouTube. Is this going on YouTube?
This is live on YouTube right now.
It's live on YouTube. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
So for anybody that's listening, my channel's probably not long for the world, but I will be on BitChute and MGTOW.tv.
Damn, man, that sucks to hear. Well, fingers crossed. I mean, like the best strategy is just to kind of lock down your YouTube channel, go on BitChute, do what you got to do, wait for the strikes to drop, and then keep going.
Yeah, I'm clearing everything right now.
Beautiful, beautiful. Good to see. Oh my God. You know what? This is why I love reacting to stuff live. Hammerhand. Let's go to the Department of Human Services, Hawaii.
Can't wait.
Hawaii State Commission on the Status of Women. Let's look at this first line on their website. Literally their very first line.
Do it. Do it.
The Hawaii State Commission on the Status of Women is a statewide feminist government agency.
They're not lying.
They're not even trying to hide it.
Nope.
Not even trying to hide it.
Nope. They're not
This
lying.
is the Department. So this is the Department of Human Services. Hawaii State Commission on the Status for Men. Let's change the letter in the address bar to flick over, shall we? Oh, page not found. What a surprise. What a freaking surprise. That's like, you cannot make this stuff up. You cannot make it up.
How old are you, old man? How old are you?
4-0, brother. 4-0.
4-0. Oh man, wait till you get to 5-0 or 6-0. That's delicious.
100%. And where are we here? Legal Aid Society. Let's have a dig here. Need help? Oh, let's go and have a look at that. Let's see what happens if we need help. Resources. Hawaii Legal Services Portal. This should be good. Brochures. Self-help centers. Let's do some digging, shall we? And fair housing. Oh, this should be good. Fair housing Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
Let's seeing if I can. Yeah, nah. I mean, look, from what I can see here, there's nothing that's sort of specifically. No, here we go. Here we go. Of course. No, there's nothing that's really kind of going, hey, this is biased. I just want you to have a look at that picture. Just look at those two people. Is there something you notice about?
Look at all your advertising. Just look at all advertising everywhere now. It's the same shit everywhere you go now.
It sure is. It sure is. Absolutely. It's sad to see. And Jones Alex with $5 says, big up Sydney. Happy 40th. Shout out to Elvin. I appreciate that super chat, man. Appreciate that. Oh, here we go. This is about to get interesting. This is about to get interesting. Look at that. Let's go digging, shall we? Domestic violence. Let's see if this is gendered. Oh, here we go. Helpful information for women and girls facing domestic violence. I've noticed nothing yet in this list about men on the receiving end. Catholic Charities Services. Oh, I bet they're so nice. Let's go digging, shall we? About us. Our services. I mean, look, nothing crazy there. But this is the thing, right? Like when you start to look at things through a really critical lens and not a manosphere lens, not a feminist lens, just through a critical lens, right? Just be like, let's dig further into this. You actually start to find out a lot, right? So in fact, I'm going to go to my private stash. I really want to share this with you, Hammerhand, because I've actually got this private stash of all of these articles related to the Duluth model. And boy, do I have a stash.
Oh, I guarantee it. I think every MGTOW should have a MGTOW war chest.
Yep. So I am going to switch this screen over to something else. Here we go. So I've literally got all of these categories. I've got the women most affected categories. I've got stuff about Tinder, coronavirus, toilet paper. Like I've got Safe Schools program. I've got stuff about testosterone. I got like all this sort of stuff, right? Now, you'll love this, right?
Hey, Sid.
Yeah, well, talk to me.
I need to just give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Thanks for showing up, guys. I can't respond to you in the chat because my privileges have been revoked.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I can't do shit for 14 days. That's if the channel stays where it's at.
Wow, that's ridiculous. That is so ridiculous.
Sure enough.
But, you know, it's pretty standard, right?
I mean, it's what happens when you don't play ball with your overlords.
Well, yeah, there is that. There is most certainly that. That is for sure. Okay, cool. So I've actually got this whole thing shared right now. So with respect to this article here, how am I going to get this bad boy to pop up? So this is United Nations Women. Sorry, this is United Nations. Where are we? Found this the other day. Gender equality. And thank you to David McFarlane for that $5 super chat. Says, happy 40th, sir. I appreciate that, man. And Elvin says, happy 40th, Sydney. Shout out to Alex Jones. I appreciate that as well, Elvin. Thank you very, very much for that super chat. Legend. Here we go. Gender equality and women's rights are essential for getting through this pandemic together, to recovering faster, and to building a better future for everyone. Now, I would say gender equality and equal rights would be a pretty big part of that. And I think that would be relatively fair to say. But of course, they rabble on about, you know, the pandemic has led to a horrifying increase in violence against women. Loss takes years to regain. Gender equality and women's rights are essential for getting through this pandemic together. So basically, it's essential that the government mandates that we have to throw money and privileges at women in order to make things equal so that it's fair. That's basically what they're saying to us, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, how else would you do it? They're not going to be able to do it on their own.
Mm-hmm. And we've got United Nations Women Canada, United Nations Women Australia, United Nations Women US, United Nations Women Turkey, United Nations Women UK, United Nations Women Asia, United Nations Women Arabic, United Nations Women Pakistan. Like, check this out, right? So we've got
it's pretty easy to be strong and brave when everybody's helping your ass be strong and brave.
Exactly, right? So we've got, in Spain, infection case of COVID-19 are twice as high amongst female health workers. Now, I'm just gonna put it out there. Oh, I got my little companion here, my buddy. I'm just gonna put up maybe a few suggestions on why that might be that this is what's happening. Let's have a look. Spain women. Here we go. Thousands march in Spain on Women's Day despite coronavirus fears. Like this was the 8th of March. And roughly 12 days later, they had a massive influx in cases. So it's kind of like, really? You know, and you want to sit and complain? One protester was holding a sign that read, "Machismo kills more than coronavirus. We must be strong and..." Right? So basically, men kill more than coronavirus. Well, maybe you didn't count in the number of abortions in the last 12 months. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's kind of a, not even fucking close. I mean, they blow us in the weeds.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Here we go. Responding to discontent with Spain's sexual violence laws, the left-wing government has approved a bill to qualify all non-consensual sex as rape. Now, what does non-consensual mean?
That means,
well, yeah,
that's any sexual contact. If you touch her tit, if you kiss her without her fucking permission, that's now rape in Spain.
Previously, a perpetrator had to have used physical violence or intimidation for an assault to be classified as rape. Now you don't need to use.
You know what else that means?
You don't need to use physical force anymore. You don't need to intimidate someone. They just need to say you've raped them and you've raped them.
That's it. That's all that means now. That means that you could walk up to them with their fucking blessing and kiss them or grab their hand, and it's now considered sexual assault or rape. They could regret the decision. They could say, oh, their girlfriends could say, oh, you kissed that motherfucker? And then all of a sudden you're a rapist. Correct.
This isn't, by the way, this is another reason why it's in the stream of my car, because I don't have my cat's ass in the camera.
Right.
Here we go. I want to emphasize that people with symptoms should not go to the march. People with symptoms should stay home and self-isolate. Health Minister Salvador said. Well, firstly, feminists don't care about logic. They only care about feelings. So they're going to go anyway. And they know that there was like a 2-week incubation period where they'd be asymptomatic, right? Right? Like, I'm just putting that out there, you know?
Of course they knew. I mean, look at the WHO right now. They're getting their asses fried and fricasseed. They knew.
They knew. And they are, like, they're on China's side. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, I even got some stuff about that as well. By the way, Successful Endeavors with $2 super chat says, happy birthday, Sid. Google event 201. I just might do that. I'll Google event 201. Event 201. High-level pandemic exercise on October.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
October 18, 2019. Interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. Matter of fact, they were doing some of the drilling for that around here.
The next severe pandemic will not only cause great illness and loss of life, but could also trigger major cascading economic and societal consequences that could greatly contribute to global impact and suffering. Now, I want to see when this was written. I really want to see when this is written. See, I don't know, because it doesn't say it anywhere. But if this is written prior to October 18th, like, that's... I'm really glad you brought that to my attention, Successful Endeavors. I appreciate that, man. Oh, yeah, there we go. China appointed the head of World Health Organization, apparently. Wouldn't surprise me. I would have to cross-reference that before I accept it as fact, but that wouldn't surprise me at all. But let's get back to this, right? So here we go. We've got United Nations. You've got United Nations women. There are 3 times as much as unpaid work as men, and intimate partner violence, gender equality. See, like, I don't know a single guy personally that is in favor of men bashing women. I just don't. Like, it just doesn't exist, right? Like, I don't know anyone. So, I mean, for me, I'm like, well, I'm fundamentally opposed to people being violent towards each other in relationships, period. Right? I understand how reciprocal violence happens, but that doesn't mean I'm in favor of it. So we're now got a situation here where every single time any opposition, anyone says, well, the pay gap's bullshit because it's just you guys making different choices. and more power to you, right? Like, I wish I could spend as much time with my family, but my wife won't let me. She wants to go to work, right? And look, those times are shifting. But then, of course, when it shifts, and we're seeing a lot of situations with the partner becoming the primary breadwinner and then leaving their husband because they're not happy. Like you can't have it both ways, you know? And of course, there's many exceptions to that. And there are many people that are very, like women that are the primary breadwinner and they've got very happy relationships. More power to them. Totally respect that. But, you know, it's not always like that. And the majority of the time, it's not going to be like that. That's just the reality. Oh, hey, Hamad. We got a little someone else just about to rock up in this stream here.
Yeah, what's up?
Welcome here to my boy, Solar TV 84. How you doing, man? Hang on, I'm going to unmute your mic here for whatever reason.
What's going on, bro? Happy birthday, man.
Thanks, bro. Thanks.
Appreciate you having me, you know?
Oh, man, anytime. That was a good live we had the other day on Instagram.
Yeah, you know, I reposted it today, man. That was a great topic, just talking about the OnlyFans and the BS that's going on. I hope to all you young men in the chat, you're not blowing your money on OnlyFans thoughts, man. Please don't do that.
Don't waste the stimulus check.
60,000 in 1 month.
You know what?
60,000 of them signed up in a month.
Yes, sir. Didn't they make it was like 3.5 million, I thought, signed up?
Oh,
maybe overall, yeah, but they were given the figures for the prior month and they said it was 60,000 of them.
So
wow. I'm gonna see. It should be in all my bookmarks. OnlyFans. Here we go.
I got to give a shout out to those in the chat right now that I'm not commenting to. I can't comment. I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it while I'm
checking in and saying hi and all that good shit. And I appreciate all you gentlemen showing up, big ups and all that good stuff. But I can't respond to you because I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, you got to have your YouTube screen up and then put it on mute, and that you'll be able to respond that way. You know.
No, I've got 2 strikes, brother. They're looking at killing this channel off YouTube.
Okay.
By the way, thank you very much to, where are we here? I just saw it. This is Sean C. Happy 40th, Sid. 40 is a great milestone. Great to hear you and Hammerhand kicking ass. Yeah, and Solid TV 84. If any of you guys haven't checked out Solid TV 84, by the way, go check out his channel, man. It's some good stuff. And he goes live on Instagram fairly regularly as well. So got some cool stuff getting dropped there. Here we go. Woolworths toilet paper brawlers revealed as how a mother and daughter ended up in Australia's most infamous supermarket brawl over 1 jumbo pack of toilet paper rolls when COVID-19 panic buying began, and now are facing up to 10 years jail. Here we go. Let's watch this video, shall we?
Is there more?
No, that was just like a little Snapchat snippet, but I'm like, really?
And that's fucking ridiculous.
In fact, I've actually been tagging some of the. Well, let's go through this, right? Because I've been noticing like there's been some bad behavior from men, no doubt, but there's been a lot of bad behavior from everyone else during this coronavirus panic. So I've actually got a little hashtag going in my bookmark collection. So let's start here, shall we? Footage of an Audi driver who spat on police during arrest and told them that she was going to get tested for coronavirus. Here we go.
This is in Australia?
Yep. And the cop goes, "Do not spit on me or you will get put on the ground." There it is. Spat in his face.
Dang.
And then all the guys were like, "Oh, don't touch her. Don't touch her." And it's like, what does she really, really expect? Like, honestly, just ridiculous. And then new footage showed Ayub struggling with the officer while on the ground and yelling, "I can't wait to sue you, you dog." Now, just for some context, right? She was pulled over after getting caught speeding by a highway patrol car doing, so what's that? That'd be about 72 mile an hour, right? 70 mile an hour roughly in a like 30 mile an hour zone. That's how fast she got caught going. And now she's the one yelling at him. She's the one having a go at the officer.
She absolutely believes.
She's saying, "Let go of me, let go of me." And all the guys are coming in to try and white knight.
Yeah, she'll probably win. That's how fucked up Australia is right now.
And so she's got a bunch of other guys, because like obviously she's Muslim, she's got the scarf. And she's going to the guys, "Brother, come fix my scarf." It's like, your scarf are the least of your worries right now, sweetheart. Like, no disrespect to anyone's religion, but when you disrespect someone like that, any moral or sort of ethical high ground that you have, it's out the window. Like you don't any longer have any entitlement to have that dignity. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned. Going to go spitting on police after you've said you're getting tested for coronavirus. That's what's going to happen. So now she's got the mask on. She's in handcuffs. One female officer, thankfully, so that they can't pull the Me Too card. But yeah, like that's what's happening right now. Like it's crazy, man. I'm telling you, it's just out of control. Oh, here we go. Instagram post. Surprise, surprise. Let's close that one there. And then on the 8th of March, we had thousands march for a women's march in Spain. 12 days later, coronavirus outbreak. Just saying. Like this is just the ridiculousness of it all. Like it's just so crazy. I don't know why this is not loading. There we go. Thousands march in Spain on Women's Day despite coronavirus fears. Like look at that. Look at that crowd. Look at the close proximity. What did they really expect to come from this? Like, and the funny thing is, they're saying they're marching against gender inequality to mark International Women's Day. I'll show you what's now unequal. The amount of females that have coronavirus compared to men in Spain. Okay. Right, like, and that's we want gender equality, but we don't have it because of the infection rates are higher for women than they are for men. Well, I'm just saying, but I don't see like I can't imagine there would be an awful lot of men in that crowd. Like, yes, there's going to be some, and they probably identify as women anyway. So what a surprise. But this is just the ridiculousness of it all. Like everyone's going, "Oh, Australia's going to end up like Spain." It's like, no, because Australia's not stupid enough to have tens of thousands of feminists marching in the middle of the city during a freaking pandemic. You know what I mean? What's your thoughts, Solo?
I mean, it's just, I don't know, bro. I'm just soaking this all in right now. I mean, the main thing is, I'm still stuck on that OnlyFans, bro. Seriously. I just, the fact of the matter is that I can't believe that men would stoop to that level. But also now a lot of these women are doing some false, good girl signaling, where they're pretending, "Oh, we're, men are the prize." Did you see that one post, Sydney, where the girl said that men are truly the prize? And then a bunch of girls were mad at her and were going in on her.
Yes.
Did you see that? You know,
Yeah, they were losing it. They were losing it.
The reality is, a lot of these women, Sydney, man, even the conservative women I know, right? Because you know, I live in a weird place. Like the city that I live 15 minutes in is one of the top 5 most feminist cities, not just in America, but in the world, you know? But outside of that city, it's pretty conservative, right? And even on my social media, I've seen women that are conservative. They're so bored right now, they're posting bikini photos on some like thought shit.
Yeah.
These are women that I'll be like, you know, they go to church. But that doesn't mean anything if they go to church, because some of the church girls are the biggest freak hoes on the low. You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And so right now, and then you have, of course, you already got the thoughts exposing themselves. But right now, man, there's a lot of women that are, you know, they're bored out of their minds, Sydney. You can just tell they're bored out of their minds. And I really think if this, you know what, this may sound fucked up on my part, but part of me wants to see like continue this as a social experiment, like keep women on lockdown, because these women will lose their mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How far women will go? Because a lot of women right now, every day, I see one woman posting her drinking every day. I'm pretty sure by the time this shit is done, she'll be a grade 5 alcoholic. You know what I'm saying?
Check out this. We got it says she couldn't cope. Beautiful and charming teenager.
I made a video on that chick. Yeah, that's crazy.
So here we go. She'd been unable to. The young waitress was said to have been unable to cope with her world closing in, plans being cancelled, and being stuck inside. Like, I mean, guys will go for 10 years, losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, working 80 hours a week, right? Just to get a chance, like just to get a glimmer of hope and maybe seeing their kid, right? And then they might commit suicide when everything's just too, like when they're just done. But then 2 weeks inside, and we've got 19-year-olds committing suicide because they can't go out and party and, you know, go and have coffee with their friends. Like, really?
Yeah. I will say in the article, she is highly autistic.
Now, yeah, so there is that.
I do have some autistic followers, so I don't want to take anything away from people who have autism.
100%.
I got ADHD myself, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, if you see her Instagram, which I did check out, I mean, she was an aspiring Instagram wannabe thought. You know, she had the cake pictures out and, you know, all of that. But yeah, I mean, a lot of women are losing their mind because women are used to right now, women are used to, you know, huffing paint or doing cocaine and getting drunk and going ready to suck off Chad, Brad, or Tyrone for the night, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't my fault. I was drunk. Yeah. You know?
Yep, exactly. Here we go.
Yeah,
so we've got...
Is that the fundraiser?
This is the fundraiser. So...
Yeah, shout out to Man Overboard. Exactly. So that's why I know he said it's affecting women in ways we have never seen. Solo's right. This is an interesting social experiment. And
very
you know
much
what?
so.
This is what I think is going to happen, and I've said it before. I think if this goes until, you know, because I talk to medical professionals as part of my profession, right? If this goes to like July, what's going to happen, Sydney, is these women are going to be like they're going to go crazy, bro. They're already going nuts.
Correct.
Because they can't. You see, there's outlets where it's okay for women to be thoughts, like bars and clubs and certain places in public. You know, like now it's bikini season in certain places coming up, right? Well, in most places, actually. And now that those venues are being taken away, where women can express their thoughterry or independence, as they say, these women are going nuts because now what is she going to do on Instagram now? Twerk on her
bikini
couch?
And here's the thing, Solo. Bikini season is peak earnings season for a lot of them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, because they're going out, they're taking photos on the beach. They got all these swimwear manufacturers saying, "Oh, you wear my swimsuit on this post and just tag us in it, and we'll give you like $3,000." And they're like, "Yeah, okay, I'll put on a bikini for $3,000." Man, I'll put on a bikini for $3,000. You know what I'm saying? But ain't nobody gonna pay me for that.
Yeah, no, it's. I just, you know what, Sydney? Part of me also wants to know who are the mofos that are paying for OnlyFans. Like, what do they look like? Because I want to talk to them. Like, you know what I mean? I don't understand why you would pay pictures, a woman money to see pictures of her that she's probably sent that are recycled, basically. Recycled.
Yeah. 100%. Exactly right.
Can't make
Here we
this
go. Check this out. Attention-seeking TikTok star 21 who started viral toilet seat challenge admits she was on a private jet and had it disinfected at first. Says she did it for the publicity. She called it the coronavirus challenge. This was her here. She revealed it allegedly happened on her sugar daddy's plane while she was flying to Miami, Florida for spring break during a pandemic, mind you.
Plane? So it wasn't a public plane? It was a private plane?
Sugar daddy's plane, yeah.
So she's a whore. She's a whore for hire.
Yep, she purposefully used the coronavirus pandemic, which has killed more than 30,000 people and infected nearly 700,000 to gain publicity and clout.
Let's call Sugar Baby Sydney for what they are. They're personal whores for hire. Unlike a hooker that you pay and then leave, the difference is a Sugar Baby will stick around. They're like, well, some people will say, oh, they're girlfriends. No, they're whores for hire, bro, basically. Look at this chick. I mean, this chick is nasty, bro. That's disgusting.
Here we go. She admitted that she created the coronavirus challenge because she was upset over not getting attention.
The mental illness with some of these women is real, bro.
Here, this chick here, she's saying, I was like really annoyed that Corona was getting more publicity than me, said Louise, who's admitted that she wants to be Insta famous. Louise went on to call baby boomers selfish because they're concerned about contracting coronavirus. You're calling me selfish, but like you're the ones who are concerned because you're concerned about yourselves because you're the ones who could die, she said.
I mean,
you cannot make this up.
But could you imagine trying to have a conversation with this chick? She probably has the IQ level of a second grader. And that's actually an insult to second graders.
Right.
The only thing this child is good for is sucking cock and swallowing my load. But Jesus Christ. You might catch something putting your dick in her mouth, man. Seriously. You might catch corona herpes. Who knows? Shit.
Dr. Phil then asked if possibly infection and ultimately killing someone over the coronavirus is worth receiving attention. He asked, if you infect one person that loses their life, is it worth it for you to have this attention? Yeah, Louise responded. I'm hearing you talk and you're like, oh, you're going to kill somebody. Like, you know what? I'll pull up and I'll cough on you. Like, I'm just tired of it. This is ridiculous.
And you know what, Sydney? I don't know if you saw her on Dr. Phil, but she was trying to go viral like that Cash Me Outside girl. And I mean,
of course she was.
Make it viral, but she had an episode too, you know. These women, bro, like it's pathetic. It's sad, bro, because there's no agency for how they behave. That they're not responsible for anything. And Big Daddy government will always bail these little dotties out. We need to take away once Big Daddy government is out of the picture, boom, you'll see a freaking correction overnight, instantly. But these women know they have that safety net. And then now you got these OnlyFans simp willing to provide for these thoughts. I mean, oh boy. You know what? And man.
Here we go. There's so much stuff on this. Like this is, here we go. If coronavirus is keeping you home, try OnlyFans. Here we go. This is I don't know what else I can say. Welsh woman makes £1 million from OnlyFans career. 1 million. She became the first woman in the UK to make revenues of 1 million on OnlyFans, a subscription-only service.
Gosh.
There's been a huge rise in women looking to make money from it as people worldwide are forced to socially isolate or distance. Like, guys, any photos like this, if you ever see any photos like this of anyone that you're potentially looking to date online, on Instagram, on Facebook, anywhere, seriously, avoid. Red flag, just keep going. Keep going. Look, there's a rose on the plate. Like, you know how much the rose costs at those restaurants? Like, this is, she hasn't even had anything. She's only got table water there, and the guy's probably already paid $300 just to be sitting there,
and
just to take photos of her.
Look at those fake puppies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're so fake, man. And
the thing is, you know, Sydney, like I was telling you on our Instagram live interview, right? I work in the fashion industry too, as a photographer, as a side hustle. These women are airheads, and a lot of them are ran through because they think that if they suck off the right promoter, they're gonna be the next Jezebel Bündchen or whatever, you know. A lot of these women, these pretty girls that you see, they have a lot of miles, guys. Trust me. When you work in the fashion industry, you realize that, you know what, those pretty girls, they will do anything to be famous, even get on their knees for a guy that looks like Danny DeVito. Nothing wrong with him, but I'm just saying, some women will do anything.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You know, and this is the thing. This is the problem, right? Even like you see here, 95% of the money she's made has been earned in just over 18 months. So like 18 months, and she's made £1 million plus, basically.
Here's my thing, Sydney.
Just from showing her body
on the Instagram interview. Here's my thing. Now, you guys see me. I'm not a handsome guy. Everybody says I look like Keaton Thompson, but even I get free nudes, right? So what I'm saying is this: if you're gonna pay a woman, and I don't advocate this, but if you're gonna pay for the real thing, not some freaking. I was jerking off last night to a pay. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's like we're going backwards. You know what I mean? As men. But you know what? The reality is that the longer this will go, I've heard also, Sydney, that some of these women are getting angry because there's so many women coming in that they're like dropping the price of the OnlyFans membership. So who knows? 2 months from now, OnlyFans might be like $2 a month, and you'll see everything.
Next thing you know, they'll be talking about the wage gap and saying that OnlyFans is their full-time job.
Right.
I only get $2 an hour. It's like, well, I mean, they're never going to say that because that's never going to be the case. But get this right. That chick I was telling you about just now, she's got 217,000 followers on Twitter and has now launched a second OnlyFans page, which acts as a consultancy for other women looking to make a living from the site. A living. Like a career. I've opened up an OnlyFans management company.
And shout out to Michael McKinney. He says they have more STIs than the local Sabre dealership. That's another thing, guys. You guys got to realize is a lot of these women, they do have STIs and STDs. You know what I mean? I interviewed a woman who admitted to getting burned because, you know, she was riding the car carousel, and I couldn't put that video up on YouTube because she would have gotten flamed, right? So I left it on the Patreon, but she was just candid with me. This woman, 22 years old, already has 17 bodies.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's a body count and a half.
Yeah. 17 bodies, man.
Damn, son. That's crazy.
And she's like an Iowa 6, bro. Do you know what an Iowa 6 looks like? They got buck teeth and hair on their back, bro. That's an Iowa 6. You know what I mean?
I reckon we're going Iowa 6 on the screen right here, right now. Wow. I mean, creating in the time of coronavirus, right? This is literally a post from OnlyFans.com, and this is the chick that they want to put as the face of OnlyFans. Right, let me zoom in on this. See the green hair there? Really?
Yeah.
Is that your mascot?
I mean, that's got feminism written all over it, doesn't it?
100%. Here we go. When faced with adversity in times such as these, most creators want to do what they can to protect our families, safeguard our livelihoods, help our communities. You might not be a doctor or a nurse, but you do have a valuable skill. A skill that can keep you inspired, earn money, and raise the spirits of your online communities during this period of distancing. Content creation. Wow.
So now it's called content creation showing your butt crack.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to Birdman, man. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. But like he says, these women are living on recruit mode, bro. Facts. Look at they're living on recruit mode. I don't ever want to hear about a woman talking about, oh, I can't make it. Just take a picture of your butt crack, put it in OnlyFans, and you're good.
Yeah, stop complaining.
Yeah.
Here we go. Coronavirus took their jobs away. OnlyFans let these Bay Area people monetize themselves. Exactly. Like, that's exactly it. That's the point. And apparently she had this chick here, apparently she had an OnlyFans account and she'd been working as a synth player with the pop punk band and she became jobless. The rapid spread of the outbreak postponed the touring plans, which put her out thousands of dollars. She lost both of her bar jobs as the Bay Area ordered essential businesses to remain open. Like I can relate to that because I lost some work at a venue where I was doing security, which was a regular thing. But then she remembered her OnlyFans account. So platforms become a home for sex workers to harvest a following and potentially avoid unsafe work environment. In February of this year, it reported more than 20 million users with more than 200,000 content creators. Since the coronavirus pandemic has spread, OnlyFans has become much more. As gig economy jobs like driving Uber or Lyft have mostly evaporated, this has become the new Uber and Lyft for stay-at-home.
Yeah, but there's one thing they're not telling you, Sydney, or emphasizing. It's only for women. Could you imagine me or you going on there and you know, not dissing you, Sydney, you're a handsome guy, pause, but
no, totally.
Going there, they would call us predators and perverts.
Yep.
You know? I mean,
exactly.
See, the thing is, it's only a double standard when it doesn't benefit them. But if it benefits them, then it's not a double standard.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Exactly, right?
Goodness gracious, bro. I would have to be on the 5th of Patron. And even then, I mean, you could tell she's hit the wall in the face. I bet you she knows how to give a sloppy BJ, but that's probably all she's good for. That bitch looks like Dracula.
For real, man. For real. That's exactly right. That's my point. It's ridiculous. What the hell? Are you serious? Is this her? Wow.
Same chick?
Yeah.
No, it can't be.
Here. So, like, all right. Let's sort this out. Right. So she's got some tattoos there, right? Let's go back to the other picture. Oh no, she got the long sleeves on. But look at the facial structure, right? Same. It's just she's got heaps of makeup on the other one. This is her bedroom with her tools of trade. For a carpenter, it would be drills and saws and, you know, vices. But this is her workplace.
How much does the article mention? How much she makes off of OnlyFans a month, or?
It's what do we got here? Last month and a half, she made around $2,000 and being able to set her hours. So, I mean, not the kind of rocket ship that you would typically see with a lot of them, for obvious reasons we just saw. But here we go. For some, it's a temporary solution, something to hold them over till the world returns to normal. Juanita Burton, 36, no, she doesn't want to stay in the OnlyFans world forever, even though since the coronavirus outbreak, it's been her prime income source. So this is the thing, right? Like, this is a move of desperation for a lot of people. And don't get me wrong, Solo, like, I understand. Look, if I was a chick and I had a great body, maybe I'm gonna make some cash.
Yeah,
for a short period of time, if that means the difference between paying the rent and not paying the rent, you know? Like, you got to work with what you got. As a man, I'd much rather work on something else that's gonna benefit me more in the long term, that's gonna, you know, give me long-term growth and build something long-term, rather than just being like, oh, hey, I'm gonna do this for 3 months till my job comes back, you know?
I mean, it's, and you know what, Sydney, I told you that if I get the allure of it, the temptation of it, but Sydney, you and I both know.
For sure.
these women, once they get used to the money, because women don't know how to budget for shit, they're gonna be, even if everything goes back stable and all of that, they're gonna continue doing that.
Yep.
You know? And I mean, hey, listen, I'm all about the free market, right? Get your money. But personally, I can't take these thoughts seriously. I mean, all these girls are good for is polishing my scrotum. Seriously. Like,
yeah.
And then you got to be careful because now they're licking toilet seats. These nasty thoughts, like, ew. You know? You might have to put some hand sanitizer on her fucking mouth because you don't know who the fuck it's been. It's disgusting. You know?
Exactly. Ali Hassan says, I blame simps for this OnlyFans business. Yeah, exactly. Simps are the problem.
Yeah, I agree. Shout out to Ali, man. I agree. If the simps stop it, these women, look, it wouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be no OnlyFans. And then, but it also, we as a society, now it's cool for women to do this type of shit.
Yep. Unbelievable. So, and by the way, look, I know that there's some chicks that that like tattoos, man. But just generally speaking, if you see tattoos, especially like big tattoos, like what you're seeing up in here, run.
Yeah, I mean, she's a super thought.
Yep. Here we go. Playboy model tells fans to stay at home by sharing sexy Instagram snap. Fitness model faces backlash from making swimsuit from coronavirus masks.
Anything.
What do we got here? Let's
She looks old. Really? She's not even that hot. Like, her face is buttery. Okay, she got bigger triceps than I do. God dang. No.
Really? I mean, I don't believe that, man.
Is that a man or a woman, Sydney? Like, no cap. Is that a man? Bro. Nah, bruh. She's hiding something. She's hiding a BWC. That's a big white cock, bro. Pause. Nah, bruh. That's a man, dude. That's a man, dude. That's a man, bro. That's a man, bro. Pause.
Bro, check this out. Mum plans for coronavirus chaos by buying 18 loo rolls, but kids throw them in the bath. Where we got this picture? But this is what happens when you only got one parent in the house, right? When you only got one parent in the house, you can't supervise properly. It's not possible.
Yeah, man. Single mothers, bro. You've addressed this topic. I have. I mean, single mother, bro. There's so many of them, bro. It's ridiculous. Bro, you 40, right?
Yeah.
Sydney, let me ask you this. Because I don't know your situation, but how is the single mother situation in Australia like, bro? Like, are there a lot of them? Is it few? Is it a certain age group? Like, break it down for me here, man, because I know what it is in America, but what is it where you're at, bro?
I mean, it's out of control. Look, the reality is that without a dad around, you're not going to be able to raise a man if you have sons. And daughters without a dad around don't have a role model, and they need to learn through fucking guys when they're young instead of learning by example from a father. It's like it's all over the world. It's the same thing, right? Like I'm gonna share with you my article collection around this particular topic, and I think you're gonna probably find this quite amusing. But here we go. So this is an article: female and male domestic violence from singlemom.com.au. My violent ex hit him at. So mother of 8. Where are we?
Mother of what?
Mother of 8 forgives partner after he confessed to cheating. So this is, like, I've just searched for that particular. Wait, where am I? Hang on. Hang on a second. I've just searched by the term, which you can see up top left, single mum. So like some of these are not relevant in the way that, what context we're talking. But like, here we go. Spends 2/3 of her $550 a week income to rent on Sydney's wealthy North Shore as she pleads for a wage hike. So she's spending 2/3 of her rent to rent in a nice place, but then she's saying, "Oh, I need more money." By the way, I want to say quickly, thank you to Let's Stay Professional for your $2 super chat. It says happy birthday and shout out to Solo. Shout out to Solo indeed.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for having me on, Sydney. Like I was telling you, I didn't even know you watch me, man. Like, that was a pleasant surprise. Because like I said, I remember watching your videos of you in the car, and you've had a couple of interesting videos that had gone viral, So,
yeah. Like the Sydney man drought, that was the one that kicked me off to begin with. That was the big one.
Yeah.
And Marcus Maximus, thank you for your super chat, brother. $20. I appreciate you, brother.
Now, Sydney, can I ask you a question?
Talk to me.
As you know, there's been a lot of censorship, right? And people think it's just MGTOW, but my channel actually has been censored as well, right? I know this for a fact because I don't get the same views that I used to get, right? Because I get emails, people saying, hey, I'm not getting notifications, or I thought you retired because I haven't seen a video in a while. Are you getting some of the same things, Sydney? Have you heard some of the same
things
or gotten emails of other content creators,
I'm getting people unsubscribed from my channel. I'm getting people having their notifications turned off. I'm having people not seeing my notifications, like all sorts of shenanigans. So, and even speaking of people that have experienced issues, Meme says, happy birthday, Sydney. Meme actually is.
Then, you know what the weird part is? They're censoring. You know how they're censoring MGTOW content? When Bulldog Mindset pops up in the first 5 videos about MGTOW, and they're all him going bashing MGTOW. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you can tell that that's real. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. And seriously, like, I'm really hoping BitChute or one of these other platforms blows up, because YouTube has, made it clear that they're super feminists, obviously.
Well, MGTOW TV has now got an app on the App Store for Google Play, right?
Oh, for real?
Yeah, for real. So, I recommend any content creator go check that out. I've got to get onto that as well. I've been a bit
who created that,
I don't know exactly who created it, and I wish I did, because I'd love to give them a shout out right now in this video. But yeah, that's tough, right? By the way, shout out to Meme. He actually, you can see the message on the bottom of the screen right now. He makes some really cool animated content. Just basically taking the piss out of universities and the craziness that's going on with them right now. I mean, the universities are out of control, man. Like, just legit out of control. So I don't even know where that's going to go. But some of them are, in fact, man, I'm jumping all over the place here, but I want to just quickly share this with you. So Macquarie Uni. Where are we here? Macquarie University. Here we go. Budget black hole. Hundreds of university staff want answers. Now, the thing I particularly like about this specific article, it says here that the university has implemented a staff hiring freeze that will be in place until at least mid-2020 and announced plans to dissolve its Faculty of Human Sciences and the Vice President of University Services and Strategy portfolio. So to anyone who doesn't know what human sciences are, that's like sociology, gender studies, psychology, philosophy, all of these like feminist indoctrination camp classes. So that's what's going on with that. That's what that really means. But they don't want to say that because then everyone's going to lose the plot. Now, where I was at before. Here we go. So here we go.
Hold up, I gotta run to the restroom real quick, bro.
Yeah, cool, man. Go for it. So here's another couple of interesting articles for you guys, right? So we got a single mom of 6 here, right? And single benefits mum of 6 who drives a Swish BMW insists life's better without a man. Let's have a look at this arrangement, shall we? Oh, interesting. Very interesting. And yeah, that's right. Mad Mikta says the work channels are still being allowed unrestricted. That is exactly correct. But I'm going to take this moment to thank everyone who's been on the stream. I really appreciate you guys. We've got lots of good comments. I love the engagement I get with you guys. Like, you just, not like engagement, but just everyone commenting, everyone sharing, everyone liking. Like, I just love this community so much. People sharing their little nuggets of wisdom. And David McFarlane says, boys need their fathers to show them a good example. Exactly right. By the way, anyone who's a father raising kids right now, there's actually a book that I came across, and it's called Raising Boys. And someone told me about this. And it talks about this concept of make sure that the boys that you're raising have 5 men around them that you would like them to take positive examples from. So it's like, you might have Uncle Pete might be, a real hustler and really good with money and, a real business person. And then your friend Daniel might be a military man and really good with his hands and really honorable. And then you might have another guy who is really calm and emotionally centered and is always the voice of reason when things are stressful. So, and like, just pick any 5 people that you're like, I really admire that person. I'd love my son or daughter to take on some of those traits. I mean, the book is primarily about raising boys, but I think it's also good for daughters as well. I really think that it's important for kids growing up to have good role models that mirror good behaviors. And this is the problem we're seeing with a lot of people that are essentially raising kids in environments that are not conducive to positive outcomes. And it's just really sad to see. Like, we're having a look at this Mama Free Danielle with Marcus, Isaac, and Ruben. And honestly, I bet you she is saying, "Oh, I'm too attractive," and men feel intimidated by me. Like, this is just the vibe that I'm getting off her, So this mom Danielle balances her 3 kids' needs with the demand of her part-time mobile beautician job and blogging. And look, if you want to be a mobile beautician and vlog and have that to support your income, like, totally respect that. Man, whether you're man or woman, like, I've got no issue with that whatsoever. Solo, just let you know you're muted, man, so I can't hear you.
Nah, I'm just reading comments, man. So. Yeah, UK Midtown said she's bigger than Hindenburg. I appreciate that reference. I really do.
Hey, Solo, we got someone else that just rocked up. You ready for this?
Yeah.
My boy.
What's up, fellas? What's up?
The man with a face for radio and a voice for print.
Man, I've been offline. I've been offline for all day, and I logged in, and I see that you sent an email yesterday about your birthday show, and then I see a join me now live, and I went, "Oh, is that now?" And I was like, "Oh, it's 2 hours ago." So my bad for being late, man. But I thought I'd jump on here and at least give you some birthday love. The big 4-0. Is that what I heard? Right? Big 4-0.
Yeah, man, you heard right.
Welcome to the new. They say 40s is the new 30s. For me personally, I'm still 17. So You know, I ache
yeah,
like a
I can tell,
50-year-old.
man. I can tell. Like,
I ache like a 50-year-old, but I'm still immature like a 17-year-old. So, you know.
Yeah, 100%, man. I feel you on that one. Like I'm of exactly the same sort of mindset, you know.
So
like,
what's the topic here? What have we been talking?
Oh man,
about?
we've been going through all sorts of topics. We've been talking OnlyFans. We've been talking United Nations for women. Like we've been. Let me just bring up the screen again here, and I'll show you the sort of stuff we've been going on.
Right on.
So we've got like been talking about United Nations and how gender equality and women's rights are essential for getting through the pandemic. Even though, you know, there's also men in this world as well. But, you know, hey, that they've got the way of a good narrative, right? My
favorite thing to always ask women when they say, well, men have so many more advantages. I'll say, okay, let's not talk about the pay gap wage because that's been discussed to death. We won't talk about that. Tell me what there are laws that support men and only men, that better men and not women. Go.
Right.
That's it. That's the end of the conversation right there. It's over. There's nothing. Not a single law, nothing. So usually it's a very short conversation.
Exactly. But by the way, thank you, my Ristic Hands, for that generous super chat. I appreciate you, man. But yeah, what I was saying before, Joker, apparently the Hawaii State Commission on the status of women was suggesting that landlords were preying on women by demanding sex instead of rent when people couldn't pay the rent.
Demanding, or was it being offered to them?
Well, here's the thing, right? You don't know. Like, if it gets offered and then the guy takes it, then she can then turn around like, well, hey, he told me that I had to have sex with him unless I wanted, unless I wanted to get kicked out.
It's a trap.
Yeah, it's a trap. And then we're talking as well, Joker, about how on March the 8th, there was a feminist march with tens of thousands of women marching through the streets of Spain in the middle of a pandemic.
I did that video.
And now UN Women have turned around and said, oh, in Spain, infection cases of COVID-19 are twice as high as amongst female health workers, women most affected, right?
Shocking. Hey, you know, if you're going to show up to a ladies' march and there's thousands of ladies around each other and y'all get sick, you know, we know who's to blame for that one.
Yep. And you know, this is interesting. Because there's all of these Instagram tabs across the top of my screen, if you can see them.
Yep.
They are all of the different United Nations for women, for the United Nations women departments for different countries.
Yeah.
So, like we got here, right? We are strong, and we have an OnlyFans account. And we've got women in sport. Of course, they've got boxing gloves on because why not? Why not throw in the subconscious?
We're gonna tough it out through this thing, right?
Exactly.
Go to the page. Go to the page before the Spain. So Spain, obviously, all the women went to the march and everybody got sick. Go show them the page that were put together where everybody was supporting the men being sick 70% of the time and having the higher mortality rate. Go to that page.
Where was that again?
Don't bother thinking about it. There isn't one, man. Are you kidding me? There isn't one. There's no one out there complaining that all the that 70% of the morbidity was men. There's no pain. They mention it and then they go about how women are most affected by that. They don't. Come on.
Solo, come on, man. You're meant to be one of the hosts. Well, why are you going to be super chatting me like that, man? I just appreciate you being on. Thank you for the $10 for the birthday pint, bro.
You know, I mean, I don't pay for lap dances, but I'll buy you a pint. How about that?
Yeah.
I don't buy lap dances, man. Facts.
100%. Actually, I got a funny story for you around that. Here we go. We got United Nations Women for Canada. In fact, I reckon for that, let's just go straight to here and bring up. Where is it here? Nope, that wasn't the one. I found this. Here we go. This is what I was after. That's United Nations Women Canada right there.
So we've got a Canadian leader and an unemployed woman.
Yep. Oh, interesting. I just noticed. Do you notice the actual tag that's being used there, like the branding, Sussex Royal?
They're not royals anymore.
They're peasants.
The
That's
official
right.
Instagram account of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. You're not the Duke and Duchess of Sussex anymore.
They're
Cupcake.
grifting. They're grifting, man.
And this was on March 31st. So this was 11 days ago. They are grifting like crazy.
Well, did you?
I thought that's it. I thought that said cam girls for a second there.
Hey, Megan's not there, but she may be soon. Hey, did you see though that she's trying to get him to go to get a job, and that if he doesn't, that there's too much financial stress on the family? She's putting it back on him again.
Yeah. Where are we here? I got this. I've been keeping tabs on this one.
You know what, Joker? I'll be honest with you. I'll be surprised if this lasts for 5 years, man.
5 years. I won't give it to the end of this year. I won't give it to the end of this year. Exactly.
Joker, you want to put a drink on it, or
yeah? I'll tell you what. I'll give you to the end of the year.
Okay.
I'm saying by December 31st, they'll have had a fight or a quits or something, and she's out.
Like divorce, or separation?
Separation. Yeah, just apart.
A solo. I think you should check out the screen right now, bro.
Because you're talking 5 years. I'm just talking they'll be split,
Well, I'm saying, so,
by one by the end of this year.
They got married, what, 2018, right?
Something like that. But he's out of money. It's over.
Okay, so let me clarify, Joker. So what I mean is 5 years from 2018 when they got married. So that would be what, 2023, right?
I say 2020. It's over.
2020. Yeah, look at what I got on the screen right now.
Yeah, she's out of money. They're out of money already. They just had to pay 4.4 mil for their refurbishing of the house in the UK, and then they come here.
Yeah,
Trump has refused to pay their security detail. She's now working at Disney to do a voiceover for a movie. And what's he got? He's got nothing. He's got his name, and he's got the fact that he used to be in a Royal Marine, or I'm not sure with their military, but he used to be in their military. That's it. He's got nothing. Didn't
they cut him a check though? I thought they cut him a check.
She spent that on her nails in the first week.
So what happens that if they get divorced this year, Joker, right?
Yeah.
Let's play this. Let's play a hypothetical, because I love doing that. You already know me. I love doing this type of stuff.
Right.
Does he then get his royal status back, or what happens?
I think he'll go back with his.
He
tail
will. He'll
between
get his royal status back.
Yeah, he'll go back with his tail between his legs, saying, "Well, she was threatening that if I didn't do this, that she'd keep the kid away from me, or she'd do something else." And he'll go back, and the family will let him back in, and they'll give him the "I told you so," and then she'll go on to, I don't know, do her thing in Hollywood or something. But remember,
the next season of Suits.
Exactly. But we know this about women. Women do not want to date down. So if he's lost his royalness, he's lost the royal money, he's lost the royal prestige, they don't have the bodyguards, they don't have the drivers, they don't have any of that. What is he? He's an unemployed dude. That's it.
Yeah, correct? But she doesn't want to do the royal duties. That's the reason why they left in the first place, right?
That's right.
I mean, I don't know the full story because I didn't follow this closely, but isn't my understanding that she's a lazy bitch? Excuse my language.
Well, no, she will work. I mean, she was working in Hollywood. But she thought when she married out that she was
on your knees does not work, Joker. That's what it's called back couch. Trust me.
I know, man. I know, but I'm telling you,
hard work.
What she didn't like is that the press was all over everything she did. Every time she spent a penny, every time she had a party, every time she bought the kid $100,000 worth of clothes. Now I don't know, I don't know how the media treated her, if it was fairly or unfairly, but I do know that every time. They were like, oh, she had a $500,000 baby shower in New York City and she spent $300,000. I think what she didn't like is the royals and the newspapers. They were keeping track of every little move she made, every little penny she spent. And she was getting a lot of scrutiny for that from both the family and from the citizens, because a lot of the stuff that the royals pay is tax.
Media is taking it on her. Diana, in my opinion, had way worse.
She probably did.
I'm old enough to. I'm not that old, but I'm old enough to remember. Diana was always in the news. Jeez.
Right. Well, Meghan Markle is too, and some people are saying that it's because of her race. I don't know about all that. I don't know if they're being unfair, but my whole point is that now, if she's bringing in the Disney dollars, working for Disney, and he's not bringing in any money anymore, what's he bringing to the table? Remember, a man's never. It's never "I love you" for a man. It's I love what you do for me, you give to me, you bring to the relationship for me.
I mean, that's Brevoort's law, right?
Right.
Brevoort's law.
And he is bringing in nothing right now.
Okay,
no more
guys, let me ask
prestige,
you
nothing.
this, though. He used to be a royal, and well, technically he still is, but his status or whatever has been stripped.
Right.
I mean, guys, you telling me he doesn't know any people of influence that could give him like some mascot type job? You know what I mean?
Maybe,
Yeah.
but you think that's going to bring in more bank than she's going to get at Disney?
And she has to permit him to have that job over her.
How much is she really making at Disney doing voiceover? $500,000?
She was worth like, I want to say around 5 to 9 million, somewhere in there, from all her Disney or from her work that she did. So no, it's not bringing in much, but he's bringing in nothing. Like he's basically unemployed now. He's been cut off from the family dime, and he has no acting skills. He's not a singer. He's not an entertainer. He doesn't belong in Hollywood.
But he's a Brit, so he knows how to drink a pint in less than 1 minute. He could probably,
he ain't gonna be. You ain't bringing in millions of dollars for that. I'll tell you that right now.
Huh?
You're not bringing in millions of dollars for drinking a fast pint.
But you know what, Joker? Him being like working in, I don't know, in some advertising or mascot fashion for one of his rich buddies, making 60.
Remember, he's a royal. He's not gonna go down to begging status. No way. I mean, royals are too proud for that. Even if he is like seventh son of a seventh son royal. So I'm just saying, I think by the end of this year, I think the money is not going to be rolling in on his end. She's still attractive to somebody out there, so I'm sure that she'll wife up a Saudi something or other, a Hollywood has been, and she'll marry into some money.
Let me ask you this: what do you think Harry saw in her to begin with? Was it the act? Was he hypnotized by that? I mean,
it was those tatas and that pretty face, probably.
Yeah, man.
Okay, I know that Britain, some of the hot girls are hard to come by, but come on.
Hey, man.
He could have done way better.
But also, keep in mind, she's got the accent as well. She's got like a foreign accent.
Right.
So that's like a little bit of, that kind of sucks you in as well. If that's your thing.
He could have gotten like some submissive 22-year-old.
Oh, yeah. Good luck with that in the UK.
Well, he married an American woman that was already at the wall.
Yeah, but you notice,
and ex-divorcee as well.
Right. So the thing is that basically he's not very high in the pecking order of the royals. He's barely a royal, and on top of that, she's barely worth having. So they're barely worth each other. I'm telling you, she's gonna bail. She's gonna bail on him. I'm telling you.
End of the year. You know what? Man. Let's put a dinner on it, bro.
I'm down.
I want in on this bet. I'm in for 2020 as well. I'm with Joker.
All right.
Joker? Okay, so if they don't get divorced by the end of this year, I get dinner from both of you guys.
Yeah.
100%.
Or I'll buy the pints.
I'll make this even fair for you guys. I say they're gonna stick together until because I have a better leeway. I think they'll be together at least until 2021. But we're doing this 2020 bet right now. So you guys,
he can get the dinner, I'll get the pints, or vice versa.
So even if the divorce hasn't been physically finalized, like they haven't gone through that,
just separation. Separation is all I'm saying.
Like clear separation.
Like he's living in a different place than her, or he went back to England and she's still here. Like separated.
Yeah, like done.
You were saying 5 years, so that's 2023. I'm saying by 2020 they're physically going to be separated.
But even if they are separated, do you think we would know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, it'll be Harry
all over the news.
Harry flies home to England to spend time with the family while Meghan does her Disney film. That's a part, and that's going to be the beginning of the end
with a baby and no husband.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Look at the article I got up right now. Meghan orders Harry, get a job. We need money.
Yeah, what's he going to do? Hi,
this is when they set up shop in Canada.
I'm an ex-royal. Oh, can you do any favors with a family? No, I'm an ex-royal. Oh, well, then you're worthless to me.
Exactly. Here we go. Meghan has ordered her husband to get a job or else. We know what that means. Meghan is terrified her champagne dreams of being a Hollywood queen will be shattered by this financial nightmare and is insisting Harry get off his duff and solve the crisis, an alleged royal source. Right. Now, I know you can't believe...
Made.
Right. and this is what you were saying. The Royal Insiders also claim that a major cause for concern is the fact that Harry has no marketable skills and has never had a formal job. He's given up royal life for his rebel American wife, but the sacrifice is blowing up in their faces. Harry is hoping he'll get book deals, paid speeches, and Meghan will return to acting, which is what she wanted all along. She even said before they even got married, she said, I'm going to use this new platform to, advance the cause of feminism and gender equality. She said that.
So where did you want to take us to dinner there, man? I'm just saying.
I think they're going to stick it out. I don't think... Here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure Meghan Markle knows how to work her way around a phallus or two, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But at the end of the day, I mean, they got a kid, so she's locked in for that joker. You're right. She'll still get that royal money one way or another. But
if they get divorced, the royal family is going to have to pay her for the kid at least.
Yeah,
just to save face. So she's going to have that money. That's more money than Harry's bringing in right now. Then on top of that, she's still in her 30s, which means she's marketable for finding another dude that will look at her and still think she's a piece. And because once she hits 40, just the number alone in a woman's head sinks in. I'm telling you, it's not gonna last. Maybe we do sneak into 2021. I'll buy you dinner for that. But I'll
buy you dinner as well.
I think they're gonna be out of money by then, and she's gonna be looking at the divorce saying, I can get cash payout. And it's going to be embarrassing for the family. So if we do it quietly, or if I make a big stink about it, come on. I mean, she's going to take advantage of the situation. Have you seen the way she steps in front of him when they're meeting people and how she gets in the way and she takes over the room? Man, he's just a wet rug and she's going to run all over him.
I mean, she probably put it on him, Joker. That's what I think happened. He probably never had a piece of ass like that in his life.
He got the whammy. Exactly, man. You know the old joke, we're all just one good BJ away from stepping off the plantation, right? Well, yeah. I think with her, she seems
You mean stepping back onto it?
No, and she seems to be very strong-willed. He's very weak-willed. And so when he can't provide and he's sitting there whining, I'm telling you, man, she's gonna bounce to some dude that's got some cash, that's gonna look at her and say that she's because she's still, I mean, a lot of guys will disagree, but you got to remember, I'm coming up on 50. So if I had a 38-year-old like that at least wanted to go out on dates and stuff, I'd say, yeah. Now I wouldn't be, secondhand daddy, because that's not my deal. And I wouldn't necessarily date her long term, but I'd still cut a rug and throw that into the bedroom for a night.
Oh, so, yeah.
So the thing is, she will find somebody that'll step up, and she'll take if she takes the divorce route, she's getting paid. If she keeps the Harry route, if she keeps him, she's not getting paid. So,
but by the way, thank you to UK Migdal with a £5 donation. Says Harry has your beard, Sid. Yes, but he's a simp and I'm not. So that's the difference.
He's gonna have our hair soon.
Oh man, the way he's going,
he's thinning. He's thinning, man.
And some of you guys whoever's looking at the screen right now, right? I got the power and control wheel up. So this is basically the power and control wheel that the Duluth model is based on, which is, the feminist model that all this domestic violence legislation is centric around. And so let's have a look at the areas of this that she's using against him, right? So
start with isolation. Start with a very isolation, because that's what they just
controlling what he does, who he sees and talks to, where he goes, limiting his outside involvement. So there's that, right? That's number one.
Yep.
Using female privilege, making all the big decisions, like I want to move to Canada, I want to move to California, I want to be in a Disney movie, I want to do this. You know what I mean? And then you've got
coercion and threats. She just warned him about getting a job or else. Coercion and threat.
Right. Like right here. Right. So, get a job. We need money. Get a job or else.
Yeah.
Right. So, like you said, that's coercion and threats. Making and or carrying out threats to do something or hurt him. Threatening to leave him.
Using the kids in the bottom left. That's going to be next.
Yep. Using the kids. Right.
Yep.
Using threatening to take the kids away. Now, she hasn't threatened that, but she's been doing that with regards to the royal family. Like the Queen is like, here we go. Queen devastated Archie. Let's bring this up. No, that wasn't the one. Here we go. Queen upset as Meghan Markle keeps Archie away from the UK.
Yep.
Right. Meghan Markle will not bring baby Archie to the UK when she returns this week to complete her final royal duties with Prince Harry. She hasn't seen Archie for 14 weeks since the Sussexes took their son to North America. With Prince Harry already carrying out his royal duties and Meghan arriving later this week, they're not bringing Archie. The fact they're not bringing Archie is also providing a financial headache for the royals because the decision to leave the 9-month-old behind is likely to add up to $100,000 to the runaway royals' ever-mounting security bill. So she'd rather spend $100,000 on security than let the grandmother have access to her grandkid.
Yep. So, I mean, right there, we've got isolation, emotional abuse, intimidation, threats, economic abuse, saying she's going to be making money soon and he's not if she gets this Disney gig. So she's going to holding that over her head.
Yeah, she'll be acting like the master of the castle. Here we go, in the male privilege. That'll be female privilege, though, by the way.
And using the children. She's got every spoke of this wheel, man.
Yep, absolutely. Every single one. Right? And, making him feel bad about himself, emotional abuse.
And in the end, everybody will blame him because he couldn't get a job.
That they're missing is using sex as a thing. I'm pretty sure she uses sex and he falls for it as long as he's got a piece of
question.
I think they're beyond that. She doesn't have to use that anymore because she's got she's got everything else. I don't even think she needs to use that.
So Joe, she's not putting out no more? Any of that?
No, I don't think she is, because look at everything else she's got over him. She's already embarrassed him. She's going to be bringing in money. He's not. She's keeping the kid away
she's
from
lost
the family.
Respect for him. And that's the problem.
Yep.
Oh no, Megan's about to find another Chad, Brad, or Tyrone.
100%.
In 2021.
Maybe it'll make that long, maybe.
2021.
But I think she's going to bounce on him.
She's going to be the next Mariah Carey.
Look at his face. Wait, go back, Sydney.
He's dead. He's got the 1,000-yard stare, man. He's already a dead man walking.
Yeah. His soul is already snatched out of his body.
Sorry, man, I closed that tab. But yeah, I mean, look, he's basically miserable. He's completely miserable.
Control-Shift-T, you'll always bring that back for you.
Control-Shift?
Yeah, Control-Shift-T.
Like, I know I can bring up Control-Shift-T. Yeah, I'm doing that right now. It's not doing it.
Oh, I wonder why. Are you using Brave browser?
I'm using Brave.
That could be it. I don't know the hotkeys for Brave.
It should be the same as Chrome.
Yeah, so Control-Shift-T usually pops it back open, your previous tab. But yeah, I think.
No, but the thing is, I actually closed the tab. Like I didn't switch from it. I closed it.
No, it's okay. Yeah, Control-Shift-T should open the last tab that was open. But anyway, the whole point is though that I'm not really into the Royals business because I don't care. But she is manipulation 101. If you want to see, I love stories like this because if I say, oh, my buddy Jeff and his wife, well, people can't really relate to that. But when you bring up something like the Royals, when you bring up Amber Heard and Johnny Depp that I just did a video on, like I track those because you can look through the newspaper articles and the interviews and everything, and you can see it where everything was good. Then things go bad. Then everybody blames the man. And then in the end, oh, it was really her fault. Shocking. And it leaves a paper trail. And this happens time and time again. So, with the Royals, it's going to be the same thing where she's going to blame him that he didn't bring in any money, that he wasn't supportive, that he so on and so on. And she'll put it all on him, even though everything has been her idea.
Yep, exactly. Even though she was the one taking a dump in his bed. Yeah.
Amber Heard, man, she's nuts. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, she's psychotic, man.
But you know what? That also means she's good in the sack. You know this.
Yeah.
Because the crazy girls are always the best in the bed. And that's why men stay with the crazy girls. Because every time I've dated a crazy girl for a few months, I'm just like, damn, she's so much fun though, man. And then she goes crazy and you think about leaving. And then she calls you over and you get a little of that punani and you stick around for a little more. That's the way it
That's
goes.
right. Exactly. But here we go. Women most affected. There we go.
So here's what I love, right? So the Independent, is that American or a UK
This is
paper?
UK.
Okay, so in the UK, if a woman divorces a man, does he have to pay child support? They usually do, right?
Let's have a look at this.
Assuming they do.
Okay, and doesn't the government help women that are single moms?
Oh, always.
Right. So why are they out in the street now? What's the difference between a stay-at-home mom that gets money from child support and from the government versus, okay, now I can't go outside, but I still get money from the government and from, what's the difference?
Look, my understanding is that with respect to the UK, they have actually become a bit more egalitarian than a lot of other places, which is actually really good to see, to be honest. In fact, in Mankind UK, there's an initiative called Mankind UK, which I believe is actually really, that's the grooming brand, mankind.org.uk. There we go. It's a male-friendly, so anyone in the UK who is suffering from any of those things in the power and control wheel at the hands of their partner, these guys are actually genuinely helping men. These are not a men's help in disguise that are going to tell you how to not be violent to your female partner anymore.
Right.
This actually helps men.
Well, let me ask you this question on that other story that you had up, which was the women are most affected. The single mothers that are most affected. Okay, well, if they were single moms that were working, they do still have government help. Plus, on top of that, they still get child support. So, are they affected just because men are losing their jobs and can't pay child support? Like, how is it all of a sudden that the women are being quote unquote pushed into the streets, but men aren't? Like, women have many more safety nets than men have. If a man's out of a job and doesn't get one, he's homeless. If a single mom has a kid, she gets government money. She gets baby daddy's money. I mean,
So the mother of four, who is a single parent, said there was no bread, pasta, meat, or cereal in her local store, and she was anxious about how she would manage to feed her children if the crisis meant shelves were empty. Now, yes, that is a valid concern. No question, right? If you've got kids and they need to be fed and they don't have food, that's a problem.
Agreed.
100%. I'm not questioning that. That's not my point of contention. My point of contention personally with this is that, well, you should have just got up earlier and gone down to the store when they open. You know what I mean? Like, there would have been stuff there. They fill it every night. Literally, they fill the stores overnight. There's no excuse for you.
Right. And I'll tell you a story that happened to me directly. So my parents are 75 and 85. And they're staying here with me because I'm very good at, I'm a bit of a prepper, and they don't live far away. So I said, why don't you come stay here? And I'm going to go out and get food and stock up. And that way, if they need something, I can go out and get it. I know I'm very careful about keeping a mask on and keeping kind of clean, but I can drop it off at the front porch step. And then I can go sleep on my bus for 2 weeks if I need to make sure that I don't get them sick. So I said, come
by
stay
the way,
here.
your bus is sick, by the way. I love it, Joe.
Thanks, man.
Videos.
It's getting there. It's definitely getting there. But the whole thing is, when I'm in line at Walmart, and this was back at the end of January. That's how far ahead I planned, because I didn't want to be one of the last minute buyers that's buying up things when other people need supplies. If you're hoarding at that point, you're a jerk. But I was going out at the very end of January, and I went out I'd go to one Walmart, and then I'd go to another grocery store and another grocery store. And I stocked up across many stores. So I didn't hoard I didn't run anything out of stock anywhere in January. And then I went back a week later and got a little bit more. As I was standing in line, I said, there was a woman behind me with her 2 kids and her cart. And she said, and my cart was pretty well filled up. And she said, wow, you're really gearing up, because I had a zillion cans of soup. And I said, well, when the coronavirus hits here, people panic buy and stores may be running out of things. So I'm making sure I'm going to be prepared. I said, have you looked into anything? And she said, no, I'm not worried about it. Like, when it gets here, and blah. And she's got 2 kids. So, why would you not say, hey, you know what? Maybe I should be a little responsible and just plan ahead at least for my children's sake instead of waiting till the last minute. And again, I'm not necessarily calling her out, but I thought ahead because I have 2 people to take care of and they're elderly.
Yeah.
Well, why aren't you thinking ahead for your kids at the same token? If you're wrong, it just means you don't have to go to the store for 4 months because you have so much food you can eat out of your pantry. But if you're right, you're covered. And I don't understand how so many people got it wrong and then wants to point the finger at everybody else instead of going, well, I screwed up. Self accountability it drives me nuts that no one will ever look in the mirror and go, your fault, dude. They just don't do it.
Exactly. And look, I guess it's one thing if you're a single, right? And, you're living alone and, you've got to go out from time to time and get supplies. And there might not be that much of a range of variety of choice in the shelf because a lot of people have bought a lot of stuff. Yeah. But, you just keep your distance, do your thing, whatever. Like if you're young and healthy and, you've got a good immune system and you catch coronavirus and you're feeling, you're not well for 2 weeks, like, hey, all's fair in love and war as long as you survive. But the thing is, with your situation, you had to hoard those supplies because if you leave the house now and you go to the shop and you get something and you bring it home, your parents could die.
Very much so. Very much so. And, I had people picking on me because over here you can see I've got bags and bags and bags of stuff. And I've got a shelf filled over and out in the garage. I've got all this stuff. I got enough for 6 months. And yeah, probably it is a bit too much. But the whole point is, though, that if I bring this home and my parents get sick and or die because I infected them, it's my fault. Well, why don't
you got to live with that?
Yeah, exactly. So, why don't people think ahead? So when I see this, I do feel bad. And I don't think children should suffer, especially of a bad decision of a parent. But, this is one of the reasons why women have that safety net of the government and of the father paying child support where they can go, screw it, I don't need you anymore. And some of them may work. But now when they get out of work and all of a sudden, if the government stops paying them and all of a sudden baby's daddy is out of money because he's out of a job, even though he'll still owe and get thrown into jail if he doesn't pay it, at some point, she's going to run out of money. And that's one of the reasons why so many times that things worked so much better. I hate to say I'm not a traditionalist or a tradcon, but things were better when there was a family unit because you had 100%. The dynamics that made a family work. Now they don't anymore. And so eventually it just makes men become nothing more than a paycheck. And that's all they're worth is baby juice and a paycheck. And as a matter of fact, I got 2 videos I'm going to do probably tonight on that. But
I have a feeling I know exactly which picture you're talking about. That basically the double standard, right? When I think it's something like this feminist chick was like, all women need a man for is to give them a baby. But it's like if a man turned around and was like, hey, all a man needs a woman for is to give them a baby, straight away they'd be like the biggest sexist misogynist, right?
Yep.
It's like, how can you not see that you're such a hypocrite? Like if the shoe was on the other foot, just switch the genders. That's it. Don't change anything. And you'll see how much you flip it. Here we are staying calm and cool. Be like, hey man, this is a bit of a double standard. Like, can you not see this? And they get angry at us. Yep. But yet then if we were to actually expose the double standard by simply making that reverse of their own words, then they lose it. It's just insane.
I did that. I was just gonna say I did that in one of my videos where I started to read a story and I had flipped the genders in it. And when you're reading it, you're like, holy, this dude's effed up. Like, I can't believe a guy would do, oh wait, no. It's really a woman it's really a woman that did this. And then all of a sudden you go, yeah, okay, this is jacked up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I did that once and it worked out quite well, right? And you get to the end, I'm like, that's pretty messed up, right? I'm like, well, just flip the genders and everything. And that was the actual article.
Right.
But like, it's interesting you say that as well about being a single parent. And this article, even though this is about self-isolation in coronavirus and how it's tough being able to feed your kids, there's actually some stuff in here that's some really telling about this epidemic, this growing epidemic of single motherhood, which is very, very sad for kids, especially, right? Here's the thing. Many single mothers can't work from home due to the fact they're disproportionately in precarious low-paid jobs because they have to in order to work around their kids, right? Because a high-paid job isn't going to tolerate you're saying, oh, I need to go pick up little Tommy in half an hour because, you know, he's got the sniffles or whatever, right?
Right.
But there's also this. This lady said, I don't see how I can work full-time and give my children the support they need. The mental pressure is one of the hardest factors. The feeling of isolation and of being alone. If there is only one adult in the house, everything is on you to do all this stuff. We need the government to step in. Of course, they need daddy government to step in, right? Here we go. And it says, I'm a pressure keg. I'm a whirlwind of emotions inside. I feel trapped. I'm a stay-at-home mum because my son is disabled. I have been self-isolating since Saturday due to being out with a friend who had a high temperature and a cough, and then briefly having a sore throat and temperature myself. I'm now covering 10 lunches a week I wouldn't normally be covering because they get free school meals. I feel numbed and stunned, like I'm sat in a fog and there's no clear direction anywhere. She added, my son is getting more and more hyperactive stuck in the house. He and his sister are arguing more and more. It's making me feel really high-strung, but I need to stay calm. Otherwise, they will realize something's up and start potentially acting worse. It's 35 hours a week, which means that they're normally not with me. And here's the thing, right? They already know something's up, right? She thinks that she's staying calm. She's not calm. They can sense it in the tone. They can sense it in the body language. They know that she's stressed, and now they're stressed, right? So as much as she wants to hide it, it can't be hidden. And whether this is a dad trying to organize this or a mum that is single also, the stress is there. This is why we've evolved to require two parents to basically have a child, right? Like a mother to be essentially have the child and a father to impregnate the mother, right? So that there'll be two parents to help with raising a baby human, because that shit's hard if you do it with one.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Hey, I have a question for Joker, Sydney, and then I got to get going.
Yeah, cool.
By the way, Joker, I've seen some of your work. I love it.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
With this quarantine that's going on, well, fuck. I got 3 questions now for you, Joker. The first question is, I saw a lot of YouTube content creators. They were like, yeah, we finally got them. The women are going to behave. They're going to come back to the table to negotiate. Negotiate? That's what you were waiting for?
Right.
I'm like, yeah, we what do you? I'm like, but you were just talking about you wanted to see, and by the way, this is a YouTube content creator. I'm not here for beef, but there's an actual guy. He said, nah, the guy was the same guy talking about he wanted to see women die and choke on their own excrement. And now he was, yeah, they're coming back to negotiate to the table.
Who is saying they want women to choke on their own excrement?
I'll tell you behind the scenes.
Oh, okay. Well, here's the
that number one, and the reason I bring this up, Joker, is me and Sydney have been talking about this. We've talked about it today. We've talked about it on my Instagram live stream. This OnlyFans, right? This website, which is kind of like the Patreon for thoughts, basically,
right?
Now you have men that are paying to see recycled nude pictures and videos of, Sandy or Brandy getting bunker busted by Tyrone's BBC.
Right.
I'm sorry, I had to make a black racist.
That's all good. It's all good.
Because I'm the black guy on the panel, so I can say that. But what are your thoughts on, number one, men who are red pill or supposedly red pill content creators saying that now women are gonna bow down and come to negotiate, when at the same time there's an increase of OnlyFans and women are making 5, 10, even 20 grand a month, just showing their tits.
I think there's many stages of red pill. I mean, the entry where they say they're red pill means they know red pill. It doesn't mean they live red pill. And the next stage, when you kind of get what I would call the red pill rage, I think that may be where somebody says, screw them and hate women and women bad. And then they go, ha, now you have to come back to the table. We got you. And they're in that anger kind of denial phase. I think when you've moved all the way through it, I if I had to name it anything, I'd call it the red pill zen. Or MGTOW Zen. It doesn't mean you're monk necessarily, but you're Zen. You just understand it. And when you fully understand whatever's going on, you're not angry at women. That's their nature. If I'm dating a supermodel and I go away for a week and I come back and I found my best friend plowed her 3 times a day, every night of the week, am I mad at him? No, because I understand his nature. It's her fault for letting him plow her. Now, I would start laughing. Now, in reality, it's both their fault because he didn't respect you enough to say no, but it's his nature. And if he's alpha dude and you're not, it's not her fault for doing it either. If anybody's fault, it's your fault for dating her and leaving the two of them alone. But when
wait, Joker. Now this is my favorite. This is what my favorite black pillars would say, bro. You're coping right now. You're majorly coping.
You know.
You're
here's
coping.
But you know what? As a single guy, what am I coping with?
You're coping with the reality.
The reality.
Girl, but you're gonna blame the girl, but not your best friend, because you're a vagina, because you don't want to confront your best friend. You're coping. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. It's both their fault, like I said. But the reality of it is, I'm not angry with either one. That's why I don't date. You understand? Because it's all like there's too many variables in all this stuff. So I'm angry at her for letting him. I'm angry at him for doing it. But in truth, I'd never get in that situation because I know what's going to happen. And that's what I call the kind of the Zen phase, where you're not thinking with emotion anymore. It's kind of like we talk about the Matrix with red pill, blue pill. You can see the Matrix code. You know what's going on. So you can say, look, my boy's good looking, right? I know he's single. He's a player. I know she's beautiful. I'm going to leave him alone for a week. I know what's going to happen. And am I going to blame either one of them at that point? So you say no. And then you say, well, I understand all women are like that to some degree, or all men are like this to some degree. All women are hypergamous. All women like to monkey branch. All men can truly love and fall in love with a woman, but they think with their emotion and not their heart anymore, and they get sucked in and blah, blah, blah. When you know all of this and you can see all of this, that's the Matrix. That's the real red pill, blue pill moment. And once you can see all that, that's when you say, I'm not going to participate anymore. That's where you're like Neo, where you just all straight up like, I see everything. I know what's going on, but I'm out. I'm out.
Joker's the real deal, bro. This guy's legit. You know, you see how I was trying to frazzle him a bit, but he took it in stride. He's like the white Donovan Sharp. He's like, yeah, I'll take it.
Man, I'm a massive Donovan Sharp fan as well.
Yeah.
I like Donovan too. I think he's a little bit more about controlling the situation, like controlling his relationship, controlling his interactions with other people, controlling and that's not a bad thing. I think we all need to have that control in some degree. But for me, I think I'd rather stay on the outside and just watch it happen. Like I feel like a dude that set up an ant farm and I'm on the outside of the glass, just watching it all happen and understanding and appreciating it and not getting involved. Where I think Donovan likes to get in the mix a little bit. Right. And I was in the mix for a while. I didn't find the effort worth the benefit.
Joker, are you really 50?
47, yeah.
Yeah, doesn't look it. Sydney, I got 2 more questions. I promise that wasn't a question.
Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
2 more questions. So,
by the way, do you like my little breaking news along the bottom?
I like that, man. That's pretty tight.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I had a girl that I interviewed, right? And during one of my Instagram lives, she hits me up and she's like, Solo, hey, I've got a guy who said that if I started a premium Snapchat, he would give me half a stimulus check. Now, Joker, are you in the States, right, bro?
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Iowa?
I have. I've been to all states except for Alaska, Hawaii, and
girl is an Iowa 6. Okay, Iowa 6, and the guy was willing to give her $600. Now, Joker, she's got a big ass, but that's because she eats a lot of corn. That's what we eat out here.
I know, man.
That's what we eat out here in the Midwest. We drink a lot of beer. And we fuck a lot of, whales. That's what we do.
Yep.
We don't got 10s. Okay? We got a lot of 7s, 6s, 5s, and 4s. That's right. We do. But anyway, let me ask you this, Joker. You would think, remember I said YouTubers were talking about women are coming back to the table. They're going to act right. No. Now you have men spending their stimulus check that, they're getting on OnlyFans. Now, Joker, I don't believe in paying for pictures, much less women. But why wouldn't these men at least pay for hookers or prostitutes? Why are these men resorting to paying for recycled pictures in your opinion, and video footage of some white girl by the name of Nicole getting railed by BBC Tyrone?
I did, this is actually a video I did a week ago, and I literally at the end of my video for the last 5 minutes just said, I don't understand this. I can Google boobies and get 4 billion results. Yeah. And, with all the adult websites and everything's out there, the only thing I can think of is because that guy interacts with him to some degree. And, if I'm a girl, I mean, if I'm a guy, I'd do it too. I got no shame. If a 4 girl or 3 girl was messaging me saying, I love your content, you're awesome, and I'd love to meet you someday, I might feather that along if she's spending me, $100 a week on me. Not really, but you understand what I'm saying. Is that I really couldn't do that. I'm not an asshole, but girls will play the game of relationship, or, oh, I look forward to hearing you message me every morning to start the day, and I really look forward to our talks. In the meantime, she's just sliding him an ATM card, right?
You don't know. If you want to message a girl on OnlyFans, you got to pay for the message.
Right. But my point is, though, that when that happens, she's going to lead them on, making them feel like they're having a girlfriend experience, so that they keep messaging, they keep getting, maybe they buy the next tier up where she gives them a phone call once a week, or, it's all, the thing is that the difference between the prostitution, between strippers, between OnlyFans, and between cam girls is just the level of interaction you get. It's the same hustle. This hustle's been around since the end of time. I mean, in my day, when I was 18, 20, 22, 24, they were strippers, right? And strippers would tell you that you're their favorite customer and come buy me a drink and put your hand on your leg and say, oh, I look forward to seeing you every week. It's the hustle. Well, it's just the same thing. The venue's changed, but it's all about the hustle. And so I think the guys that are getting sucked into this, they're not red pill men. They may know about the red pill, but they're not red pill. They haven't taken the red pill. These guys are so far blue pilled and lonely and sad and everything else. And it's not, it's good for her for being a hustler, but bad for these guys where they don't have a positive male role model of whether a father, an uncle, a grandfather, a brother, whether it's someone like us, they listen to our videos that say, dude, stop this. This is not going to get you anywhere. She is fishing for you and you're just a dude on a hook. And she's using you. And unfortunately, you can tell men that 100 times, but until it happens to them a couple times and they learn the hard way, you put it out there and they're either going to listen or they're not. But, some guys have to drive into the wall a few times before they realize that we were right. So you try to do what you can, but you can't help them. Simp's going to simp.
Right. Sydney, can I ask my last question?
Oh, ask away, brother.
Last question. The 2-part question once again, Joker. And by Joker.
Point man, A, 2-part. Part 2, A, B, C, D, E.
We might have to get Joker on Solo TV 84 because this is a 2-part question.
Yeah.
So part 1A of this 2-part question for you, Joker. I'm gonna make it very simple, right? I have a theory or a hypothesis. Okay. My hypothesis is this, Joker, and check me if I'm wrong, but let me expound on it so you can understand what I'm talking about. If this quarantine ends at the end of, let's say April, then everything will go back to whatever, right?
Yeah.
But if this quarantine lockdown is 90 days or more, Joker, I believe that women are going to go on these dating apps because right now, if you go, because I interviewed a dating coach yesterday by the name of Lucario, good guy. But right now, this guy was like, I can't get a woman to meet me, which is obvious because they don't want to catch corona. He probably got corona herpes too, whatever. But the point the point I'm trying to make is this. I think, Joker, that if, let's say they decided, okay, we're going to have everybody on lockdown till August or July, I think there'll be a point where women will go crazy and they will go on these dating apps or they will try to meet these men and get a little bit of.
You mean they will go crazy or they've already gone crazy?
Oh, they've already gone crazy. But now I'm saying that, Sydney, instead of just sending pictures of their asses to guys like myself for free, right? Or you, they're going to actually come over to get a little bit of that bunker busting, right? Joker, if you don't know what that means.
Oh, no, you don't need to explain to me.
So my question to you, Joker, is the part A, and I'll get to part B once you answer part A. Do you agree with this theory that after 90 days, maybe these women are gonna, because they have a need for, I mean, they got to keep riding the carousel eventually. The vibrator, there's only so many AA batteries you can put in the vibrator before you get bored of it.
Right. Well,
I think my theory or hypothesis.
I think when this is going on, most women, if they want to, they're going to find the best guy. Now, remember, a woman that's a 6 or we'll say a 6 or a 7 can land a guy in the bedroom that's an 8 or a 9. Because a guy will date it well, and I say date down, he'll sleep down, right? But he's not going to have a long-term relationship with a woman that's a couple steps below him. So she's going to go out there and find a good guy or two, and she's going to be the hookup girl, and she's going to probably get some feelings for him while he's just, as you call it, bunker busting on her, and she's going to be happy. But when all this goes away, so will he. The problem is that as she comes out of this, and she's been getting railed by a 8 or a 9, and she's going to feel like, well, he got away, but I can get another 8 or a 9. And that 8 or a 9 is never going to want to date her. He's just going to want to sleep with her. So when a woman has all these partners that she sleeps with that are all good looking or relatively good looking, successful men that would never date her up, would never get her pregnant, would never marry her, but they're happy to at least get some with her, her value gets inflated. So she believes as a 6 that she should get an 8 or a 9. Well, the only person that gets her out of that long haul is her, because she's never going to settle for a 6 or a 7 that's her value. And number 2, all the 6 or 7 men's that are not being given an opportunity because she's holding out for that 8 or 9 imaginary guy that will someday date her. So I don't know if guys are going to be getting the call per se. I think the Chads and the Tyrones, as you guys call it. And I think the good-looking guys.
As Chingy one says, just one call away.
That's it. So I think these guys that are in the top 10 percenters, the top 20 percenters, they're going to have a smorgasbord. They're going to have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 girls to choose from. And then the guys that are a little bit lower down that tier might be getting the 4s and the 5s contacting them. And maybe they have to drop down a little bit. But in the end, I don't see this really changing anything, because the girl's still going to find that 1 or 2 or 3 really attractive.
Right now, Joker, I will say this, because I've been, I love Reddit, by the way. I'm a Reddit fanatic. And I go on different forums, bodybuilding, the Miz, salute to anybody on the Miz. But right now, a lot of guys are saying, fuck, I can't get a girl to come over. They're flaking, ghosting, which you would expect, because right now we're going through a supposed pandemic.
Now, this happened before that, though, too.
Right, but what I'm saying, Joker, is this. I think that eventually there's going to come a breaking point where girls are going to say, you know what, fuck it. I want to go out. I want to meet this guy. I'm going to take this risk.
They'll do it for the free food.
Well, actually, have a look at that article that I just shared up. Not what you expect trying to find love. Single mother 38 catches coronavirus from her date.
Yeah.
But she doesn't hold any hard feelings.
Yeah, she caught coronavirus from her date, and he caught the clap. I mean, the thing of it is, this isn't really going to change anything. If anything, women are going to be, if you come out of this, we have what was it, 16 million unemployment claims right now. If here in the United States, if we come out of this,
6.6 million last time I checked
for a week, just for 1 week, and before that, week before that was. But let's say we come out of this and there's 20 million people unemployed, and I say, I'm still employed. I'm a network engineer pulling in 6 figures. Life's easy for me. All of a sudden, I went from being a whatever I am up 2.5 points. It's so I think the Chad and Tyrone may also go to the Chad and Tyrone of the wallet, those that have stayed employed and those that have good income. Women will maybe gravitate towards them because they feel that that's a good catch and they won't have to work, or maybe they got unemployed and they'll try to run up on him and see if she can make him love bomb him and see if she can make him fall in love for a few months. So if she's behind her rent, she can maybe move in with him. I think the dynamics will change a little bit, where men are still going to be appreciated for their looks, their muscles, and the kind of traditional stuff. But if a guy's still employed and bringing in good money after this, he needs to also look out, because those women, believe me, have no problems. There's so many of them that are in their early 30s, late 20s that say, hey, I want a kid. I want a family. And yeah, I really would like to sleep with Tyrone, but beta boy over here that's still bringing in 6 figures, I'll let him get me in the mommy way, because then I get an emergency bailout money of 1,800 or whatever it is for the next 18 years. I don't think anything's going to change out of this, to be honest. The stories are already coming out how women are most affected by this, and how, feminism's being hurt by the coronavirus and all this other crap. Nothing's going to change.
Okay,
The rules aren't going to change.
Hold up, Joker, and this is my last question, then I'm going to leave. And Joker's like, gosh, who's this crazy black guy you got here?
Nah, man, it's all good.
No, you said nothing is going to change, right?
But wait, you're black, man? I thought you said you were white.
I know, right? I'm the darker version of Donovan Sharp. Facts. Here's the thing, Joker. Like I said, I will stick by my hypothesis, and maybe we can put a lunch on it as well. By the way, Joker, we got to talk behind the scenes, because I would love to interview you sometime.
Sure, man.
But this is my last question for both you, Joker, and Sydney. Now, let's say this lockdown quarantine ends in June, for example, which is a realistic goal, because I talked to medical professionals.
I think so.
Not that it means
so.
We'll have to get the economy going before then.
Right.
We'll have to. So there's no way the lockdown goes till June. They'll let people that are healthy and young back to work at least.
So, Joker, okay, this is not part of my question. Well, it is part of my question, but you think it'll end faster than June? Then is that what you're saying?
It has to. Okay. It has to. We're going to be racking up trillions and trillions in debt. The inflation to be too much. The market's already going to crash. Unemployment's going to be hitting damn near the Great Depression back in the 20s. We're already looking at half of that in unemployment now. If we get to that point, there is no recovery. So we have to go back to work, even if it kills older people or whatever. You're going to have to.
Okay, Joker, now you made it a 3-part question. I'm sorry, but you did. When do you expect this to end then? Sydney, I'm sorry, but he made a 3-part question. You know me. I do.
Man, I'm always down for a 3-way.
What I fucking do.
We're going to have to wrap it up in a couple of weeks. We're going to have to. And what I think you'll see is they'll put you.
I'm sorry, Joker. You got to give me like a time frame. Are you talking
about?
about?
I'd say the end of this month. Yeah, the end of April. Okay. And then what'll happen is they'll say young people, healthy people, people under the age of 50, so on and so forth, wear masks, isolate yourself, keep social distance, but go back to work. And they're going to try to get the economy up and going again. And then what I think is going to happen, things will go along for a little period of time. And then I think the numbers are going to start to spike again, because social distancing has been ending. People will start to get sick again. And then they're going to say, okay, now we need to maybe lock it back down again. And I think this is going to happen in cyclical waves until they either get some sort of a virus or a shot that you can take to kind of, give your immune system a chance against this, or they've ironed out the zimithrosin and the what's the other drug they've got there? Anyway, they get these drug cocktails down to the point where, yes, you'll get it, but you can take it at home, and the odds of complications or going to the hospital are very low. Then I think we'll continue on. But until we have herd immunity, or until we have a vaccine, one of those two things has to happen. And at current numbers, we're at 0.08% of the population has any immunity to this. You need to be at 60 to 70% with the R0 value that it currently has. So you're going to be looking at years until we have herd immunity, or they need to come out to the vaccine, 18 months at best for that. So this is going to change not just the next couple of months with this lockdown. This is going to change the next 12 to 18 months. I firmly believe. I'm not a doctor, but I've looked into a lot of this, and I've done a lot of studying, because I look at the economics of it, because I want to continue to be semi-retired, which means I need to understand how the market's going to react, where am I going to put my money, so on and so forth. So I think this is 12 to 18 month problem.
Yeah. Joker must either be in the math field or in the computer engineer.
Computer engineer.
Yeah, I can tell. You talk like one of these guys I know. Yeah, you know numbers, you know statistics. I love it. Last question, Joker, and then I'm gone. And I know he's like, finally, Soul TV, getting the hell out of here. Last question, Joker. And by the way, you're doing great on this impromptu interview. I know Joker's this guy. Who's this guy?
I know you love to plan, Joker. I know you love to plan and like get everything right.
Man, I was just gonna hop on and say happy birthday and bail, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm having fun.
Sydney knows me. I interview people, so this is what I do. And when I hear somebody talk like you, Joker, I'm like, oh, he's saying some shit. Let me ask him some questions. Last question. So now, Joker, I don't know where you're at.
I'm in Florida.
Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in probably one of the most liberal cities in the world, not the USA, but in the world. It's called Minneapolis, right? I don't know if you've ever been here, but it's liberal.
I have. It's very liberal, and it's really struggling with crime right now.
Yeah, but here's the odd part, Joker. If you go 40 minutes outside of Minneapolis, it's hella conservative.
Yep, that's almost every major city.
With shotguns riding in they lap, not the passenger, but in the lap. It's a weird dynamic, and if you don't live here, you might think that I'm just making this up, but I'm.
It's the same thing in upstate New York. It's the same thing in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's the same thing in Atlanta, Georgia. It's the same thing. It's most major cities. You get outside of them by an hour, and you're back to country, guys. Yep.
Yeah. My last question: what I think, Joker, is when Trump or Fuzi or whoever says, "Hey, everybody, the lockdown is done, quarantine is over, restaurants are open, bars are open, strip clubs are open." Now, I don't know about your city, Joker, but I know where I'm at, near Minneapolis. I think once they open everything up, people are going to go nuts. These women are going to get drunk out of their mind. Guys are going to be out there. These women, they're not even going to go to the hotel room to smash. These women are going to get bunker busted by the trash can outside the club.
Right.
That way, the guy only has to flip the condom up over. It's in the trash can already. Oh, next girl come over? Okay. She's getting clapped. I think people are going to lose their mind. Girls are going to wake up pregnant. They don't know who the baby daddy is, Chad Tyrone or the fucking crackhead from the corner. Now, Joker, I know you like, but what are your thoughts on this? Do I have a point? I mean, remember after World War I, real quick. So I got to show my intelligence somewhat so Joker can respect it. After World War I, what happened? It was the Roaring 20s.
Right.
People were having fun. Now, I'm not saying we're going to have a decade or even half a decade of that, but I'm thinking maybe 3 to 6 months, people are just going to lose their minds.
Well, I think young women will lose their minds with attractive men. That's always going to be the case. Young women do not waste their time with unattractive men. That's why they go Chad chasing when they're in their 20s. When they get to be their 30s, the reason why that usually they're still a little bit more promiscuous is they're either chasing their youth or they're trying to get guys interested in them to wife them up and to have long-term relationships and families. And how do they do that? They bring their best asset to the table, and which is still fooling around, right? So I think that for certain men, when you're young in your 20s and you're athletic, you're in shape, you're good looking, you're young, and you're full of spit and vinegar, as my grandfather used to say, you're still going to get lucky. If you're in your 30s and you're that guy, you're still going to get lucky. If you're in 40s and you're that guy, you're going to get lucky. Where it changes, though, is in the 30s when the guys have some bank and they're a little more beta. That's okay.
Wait. See that? See what I got, Joker? I got $3. This will get you half a latte at Starbucks. Fact.
Oh, speaking of cash, I forgot. Told you I had a little story for you guys earlier, and I forgot to tell you. Where you were saying you'd rather give me the money than a stripper.
Mm-hmm.
So I was at the strip club once. What's that?
These are some dances. Is this a 20s picture or 30s?
Yeah, this is from the Roaring 20s. Hey, Solo, that's you over on the right, bro.
Be on the right.
10 years younger.
This guy in the blackface? Oh no, that's not me.
No, that's
no. But like, just like 10 years younger.
No,
tilt the head back a little bit, get some lighting, and
look to the other side. The guy that's sitting down a little bit. He's got the
no. Up sorry. I meant like on the left, as if you're facing the crowd on the left, like that dude with the chick in front
of the piano.
I'm not talking about the guy with the top hat. No, that ain't you.
I see him.
Yeah.
straight up thought Sydney was telling me.
Sorry, bro. That was. I apologize.
I was like, wait. I'm not the guy in the blackface. What's going on right now, guys?
No.
We're having a good moment.
Sorry, they're left, not your left.
I'm joking. Yeah. Okay.
I think things. I think things may go a little bit crazier, but it's not women that want to be promiscuous and have fun. They're going to want to have fun. It's the same thing with us, right? Do you go out there and say, "Oh man, it's been so long. I'm going to go for this woman that I've never been attracted to before, but I must get laid." No, I mean some guys may, but
cocaine is a hell of a drug, bro.
Yes,
but I've heard stories.
There are going to be some guys that do that, no doubts. But for the majority of guys, they're still going to keep their credentials in check.
That.
But I'm telling you, women,
Do you have a
women's
confession to make?
women's confessions are not.
Hey, you like that, man?
Women's standards are not going to drop all of a sudden just because it's been a month or two. They're going to still go after Chad, and the girls that are in their 30s are still going to use it to try to get a guy that's a provider for them. These have been the rules since the day. Now, yes, things may get a little crazier, but I don't think it's been that long. You know, the Roaring 20s, yeah, but that was after. That's prohibition. That's after wars. That's after with the Great Depression and everything else. There was a lot of hard times, and people were celebrating coming out of those hard times. This has been a month,
Joker,
two.
I'm sorry, Joker. I know it's been a month, but there are girls talking about this. Anybody got weed? I need to buy some weed.
Okay, but that you don't see those same posts for. Is there anybody out there with some D? Because I need the dick. Is there somebody out there with it? Because I'm just dying. Because they'd have 4,000 messages from everybody in the world. They don't need to do that.
Joker, there are girls twerking right now on Instagram where girls are pouring milk down their butt crack. Now,
yep. How's that different from spring break last year?
I've yet to see a white woman have milk poured down her butt crack while she's twerking.
Spring break, Florida, man.
But here's the thing, Joker, I don't disagree with you. I do think that, and you may disagree with me, but I do think that you don't. While Chad, Brad, and Tyrone are a good-looking guy, I do agree with you. Those guys are always going to be slayers. I think that a regular guy, maybe not an attractive guy, even myself, if he happens to be at the right place around the right girl who is willing, then he might come up. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be the norm, but sometimes some of these things in life are all about just being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, but that's a lot of effort to be in that right place at the right time. I mean, at a certain point, it's like looking through a needle or looking for a needle in a needle stack. Like, it's a lot of pain and a lot of misery just to find that one needle.
Listen, you've never been to Minneapolis, sir. Come by in Feminist City. It's the right place, right time. Just please make sure you wear a rubber because I don't want you to get corona, herpes on your cock, okay?
Man, to be honest with you, it really have to be somebody special for me to even waste my time. Right now, I'm into making money and doing my own thing. And a woman has to throw herself on me if I'm going to take a look. And that's not because I'm anything special. It's because I just don't care. I've run that game since I was 14 is when I lost my virginity. I've run that game for the last 35 years. I've seen it. I know it. Nothing's new. I know what it feels like. I know what the game is. So I really don't even need to bother with it. And again, it's
the game's supply and demand, right?
That's it. And right now, I just if somebody puts it down in front of me, yes, I will enjoy it wholeheartedly. But I won't go out of my way to look for it anymore. So I'm not too worried about that. But I mean, I appreciate the idea. But
Joker, I appreciate you taking my questioning. You might think I'm obnoxious or abrasive, but I appreciate it because
anytime, man.
This is my style. Anybody who watches me, they know that. Sydney, happy birthday, motherfucker.
Thanks, bro. Hey, but
remember, if you're gonna call one of them thotties over tonight or OnlyFans bitches, rubber it up, bro. I don't want to hear about fellas, please donate to my Cash App. I got her pregnant. I want to say thank you guys, and please, guys, continue making content. Sydney, let's work again. Joker, I'll reach out to you.
Please do.
My name is Solo TV 84. You probably never heard of me. I'm just
check him out on Instagram and also on YouTube.
I make videos in my basement, and I'm a black pill guy who is also white pill. He's like black pill, white. Yeah, it's called gray pill. It's God pill mixed with the devil pill, so you get gray pill. Guys, salute to you, Sydney. Happy birthday, motherfucker! And I'm out.
Thanks, bro. But by the way, Joker.
Yeah.
Supply and demand. Now, I'm gonna do an exercise right now in supply and demand. Now, in the next 3 minutes, if I get $50 or more of super chats for this birthday stream, I am going to reveal this blast from the past, which is all moldy and got shit all over it. It was been out in the rain in a box that I chucked in a shed that I haven't seen in years. My apologies. I do not have coronavirus.
Every time I cough,
I will reveal the photo of the land whale that I cohabited with at the age of 19.
Oh, really, dude? Did you got sucked in?
I got sucked in. This chick used to eat a tub of ice cream for breakfast. So if I get $50 of super chats in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to reveal the photograph of it. And this is, by the way, and this chick, this is her, she'll be like, she's unrecognizable now. So this isn't going to dox her or anything. She looks totally different. And I'm just going to kill that spider that I just found on it because like, that's literally.
Oh, Aussie MGTOW Bear just one-shotted. Just
right.
one. He wants to see how embarrassing you rolled when you were young.
All right, Aussie MGTOW, this is for you, brother. You just sponsored the end of this video. So just to be clear, I broke up with her. I got out of my house. She was spending more money than she was bringing in, and she wanted to have a joint bank account. And I was a 21, 22-year-old simp, and I bought into it.
Oh,
right. So this is a glamour photo. So you can imagine when there's no makeup, when she's looking disheveled first thing in the morning, sitting on the couch in old faded fluffy pajamas, eating ice cream, what I had to look at. Aussie MGTOW Bear, this is for you.
oh. Whoa. Wow, really, man? Damn, son. Wow. Now,
So,
how did you get sucked into that?
well,
Was it the was it the first trim you ever got?
Well, see, here's the thing, right? Like from year 9 through to year through to the end of high school, basically, I was at an all boys school because year 7 and 8 was some of the most miserable years of my life. Period. Like, yeah. I mean, I hated school. Like, I was the class clown. Yeah. Solo goes, Cindy, tell me she gave some good time at least. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did.
There had to be something. There had to be something there. Damn, man.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Now, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to show you guys. Just so you got a bit of context, what I looked like at the age of 18 after I left school, right? And you'll understand why maybe I didn't have as many choices as I might have otherwise.
See, now I that's what you look like. See, I mean, you were very clean cut and you had a little bit of a Doogie Howser haircut. But see, I would look at you, think you were leagues better than she was by far.
Yeah. Well, see, here's this was actually my first actual girlfriend. Like this one here.
See, now what happened there? Because she's cute, man.
Yeah, she was cute. I mean, she's young, but then again, so was I. So
right.
But yeah, that was.
But I don't understand how you went from that to the other one.
Well, see, I'd moved to Sydney and I didn't know anyone. I had no network. I had no group of friends that I could meet people through. So it's kind of like, you know, when you're a hungry wolf, you'll take what you can get. You'll take whatever falls on your lap, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, being a young simp back then, I didn't have any, like there was no YouTube, right? There was no YouTube. So
yeah, exactly.
Like I couldn't go on there. I couldn't look at Coach Greg Adams. I couldn't look at Sandman. I couldn't look at MGTOW 101. I couldn't watch the guy with the face for radio and a voice for print. You know what I mean? And
there's no dating app, so you really only could get what was in front of you at the time, or in your immediate future. Sure.
Right. Exactly. And this was the thing, right? And I didn't have, other than the people I worked with and the guy that I lived with, and there was one other girl that I was that like I met online through ICQ. Man, I still remember my ICQ number was. I still remember my ICQ number. I'm not going to say it in case it's still around. I don't even know if it's still a thing anymore.
I don't even know. Now I'm curious.
I'm a freak when it comes to numbers, so you and I get along. Maybe that's why we get along great, right? Stats and everything. But yeah, Country Blumpkin says, "Smash that picture and cameraman." Man, I ain't gonna glass all through my house, but
yeah,
this is going. This is going in the bin.
ICQ is still around. How about
wow. can't believe that, man. That's crazy.
I know, right?
Yeah, so I was on ICQ. I don't even know my password. I don't know what email address I had. I don't know what. Like that's long gone for me. But yeah, like I had met this girl on ICQ, and she was a very big girl, and I was friends with her. But that was basically it, and that was my benchmark for Sydney girls, right? So it's like I didn't know anyone hot. I had no game. I didn't have red pill knowledge. I didn't understand female nature. All I knew was my mother and my dad worked all the time. And he didn't work all the time because he didn't want to be around us kids. He worked all the time because he was a man of sacrifice. And that was how he showed his love. And I appreciate my dad for that so much.
Yep. I'll have to go through and look because I've always been a picky SOB. Like she's got to be.
I'm so picky these days, like seriously picky.
But I've always been that way. But because I think because of when I was picky, and when I was only kind of into smash and dash, that's when I had the best times dating. When I was smash and dash, and I was just kind of doing my thing, and I was really picky. I had primo girls. Now, none of them may have been good for long-term relationships, but I was always with good-looking girls. I had to drop my standards when I wanted to find a long-term relationship because they still wanted to smash the chads and everything like this. And I found I've always been happier with short-term relationships or ones where I'm not emotionally invested. I think the minute you emotionally invest in a girl, it's just over. I hate to say that because many of us in the blue pill world, when we were blue pilled, wanted that. Oh, I'd love somebody that I can love and they can love me back and we'll be happy together. And the minute
I always said to myself,
the minute you love a woman, man, it's over. It's still weird to say that, but it's the truth of everything I've ever seen. The minute you fall in love, it's over. The more you fall in love, the quicker it ends.
I fell in love with my ex-wife, and I got married. Yeah. And and look, it's funny, right? Because a lot of guys, whenever I talk about my ex-wife, they just immediately assume that she was a piece of shit to me. And this is, I guess, going back to that conversation that. I hate to use the battered old phrase, but not all women, right? Like, because not all women are like that. Like my ex-wife, she was loyal. She was a good woman. Like she was kind. She was compassionate. She genuinely loved me for me. But the issue in our relationship was fundamentally that we weren't compatible as partners. Like the sexual chemistry had gone, and it does tend to go after a certain amount of time in most cases. And,
unless you're far superior to her, it always goes. But if you're far superior to her, then she'll always want it. Yeah.
And we both put on weight.
Yeah.
And she still loved me. She still stayed, like she still, cared for me. And I still cared for her. But the reality was that as the weight went up, my attraction went down. Yeah. And that's how it is for most guys. And I even had a girl say to me, it's not fair that guys can get really hot, like fat guys can get really hot girls. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's not fair that we have to compete for your attention while you're the hottest.
Right. Or what about this?
Life's not fair.
It's not fair that as a network engineer making 6 figures, you loved me, but I lost my job and I had to take a job as a delivery driver, making a quarter of that. But I can still pay my bills, but barely. And I make a quarter of that, but you don't love me anymore because I'm not bringing in the money. Fair is fair. It works both ways. Men are wanted for what they bring to the table. Women are wanted for their attractiveness. So, but when you boil it down, and I think this will tell you how far you are into the red pill or into the being a bachelor kind of thing. If I gave you the choice of being whatever woman that you wanted would love you unconditionally, or whatever woman you wanted would desire you physically and want to sleep with you and want you that way, which way would you prefer? Because a woman loving you doesn't mean she wants to sleep with you. It means she wants to maybe be in a bed with you and live her life with you and go on adventures with you and be your best friend, but it doesn't mean she desires you. Now, given that, or given, would you rather have a woman that just comes over, wants you so desperately, she's texting you 3 times a day, wondering when you can next hook up. She comes over and you smash her brains out, and then she leaves saying, I can't wait to come over and bang you again. Which would you prefer? I think
Yeah.
the majority of men that are now understanding women's nature would say, well, I'd want the smash and dash every time.
Yeah. Now, Joker, I want to address a particular comment here. And, it's funny because I see comments like this all the time and people get mad about it. But with you and I on this stream, this is the perfect time to have a conversation about this type of thing. Baby Yoda up in this mofo said, "You are a MGTOW for a reason, MGTOW. You have no attractive attributes. All I see are bitter men. You got rejected. Just saying. I'm a man's man and I found a mate of 10 years. So I want to, yeah, like exactly, right? But this is the thing. I agree with Baby Yoda on that point. She's still with him because he's a man's man, because he is still biologically attractive to her, right? Because obviously whatever the attributes that Baby Yoda is exhibiting in his everyday behavior are the attributes that keep a woman's attraction, because this is why a lot of PUA become MGTOW, right?
Right.
Because what attracts a woman is not what keeps a woman.
Correct.
And so many men don't understand this. And I think it's really important for men to know this, because a lot of men are not told this.
I've had long-term relationships. To say that we're bitter men is wrong, because I'm not bitter. I don't dislike women. I don't hate women. I have nothing against women. I just understand women. And you can either understand women or love women, but you can't do both. And so knowing what I know now is that that I know for a fact that I could have a long-term relationship. I just need 100%. to be at the top of my game, and I need to choose a woman that her best option would be someone like me. Now, if for just argument's sake, if I say I'm a 7, just for argument's sake, or a 5 or whatever the hell, who cares? But if I say I'm a 5, I'm an average guy, and I choose a 5 that's an average girl, remember, can sleep with a 7.
Right.
So she goes out to the clubs and she's got 7s flirting with her, 7s hitting on her, 7s wanting to be with her. She's going to think that's an option for her.
Correct.
So at some point she's going to drift. Now, if I'm a 7 and I'm dating a 5, and a 7 is what she can see in the clubs and what maybe she has a chance at sleep with, but I'm with her, therefore I'm as good as she thinks she's ever going to get. She's going to be happy with me. And that's kind of what's happened in society. Is at one point in time, men, because they were the bread earners, the more money they made, the more their number was up. And of course, the more handsome they were, and of course, the better body they were. Well, now that women are making money of their own, the income portion of it has come down to where they don't need a guy that makes as much money, or they want him to make more. But what they still want is the attractive, tall, so on and so forth. Well, I'm never going to be tall. I'm 5'7". There's nothing I can do about it unless I want to go to Asia to some weird doctor to break my leg bones in a dozen different places and add a 1/16 of an inch or whatever. And
that's not a great option.
No, that can really jack you up. But so there's nothing I can do about my height. This is gone. I'm not going to not gone. I've just shaved it because it's a little thin.
But we both got a little bit of silver.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of the grays in right now.
Yeah, boy.
It is what it is. And you can either understand that it is what it is, or you can fight it and be disappointed in life and be upset. And you can always try to make yourself better and better and better and better so you can get a better girl. Or you can date down to where she feels lucky to have you. Or you can just say, you know what, all that energy for just a little bit of trim and to have a friend around, it's not worth it. Like that's the way that the way I've come into it is it's not worth me worrying about my income. It's not worth me. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I see it. Well, a lot of the girlfriends I've dated women that are 5'10", 5'11" before, because I was a DJ at a club and I was popular and blah, blah, blah. But my whole point being is that there's a certain point in time where you realize it's a lot of effort to show women how important you are, how successful you are, how attractive you are, how wonderful you are, how blah, blah, blah. But after a while, you just realize, you know what? I don't care. And that's not my value in life is being, the only way I have value is if I'm found to be attractive by women. That's not my value in my life. My value in life is being able to retire at 45, which I did. My value is to be able to travel around the world on my savings, which I did. As a matter of fact, I was in Sydney almost exactly a year ago, a little bit less. I went because I flew into.
Damn, I wish I knew about you a year ago, man.
I know, man. I left Thailand and I went to Singapore, and then I flew down to Perth. Perth is nuts. They're crazy out there in the West, let me tell you. And then I went out to visit all the Quokka out on Rottnest Island.
Yeah.
And then I got in with a what do they call those? The road trains. I hitched a ride from a road train at one of the fueling up stations, and I rode over to Melbourne and Sydney, and then I flew over to New Zealand. So, but I got to do that because I've saved cash and I've been single and I've not worried about women and having a fancy car and doing all this other stuff. And I've been the happiest I've ever been. So the minute that you either say my value is based on women, you lose. And
Correct.
Therefore, if you don't want women and you talk about why you don't want women, somehow you're butthurt and it's not an interest. It's just not. Would I rather have a woman or $1 million? I'd rather have $1 million. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer for me. So I'm not going to give Baby Yoda a hard time because I thought that way for a long period of time, and I was quite happy when I was kind of doing the smash and dash. But for me, I just found that it's so much effort for so little return. If I met an awesome woman that was cool and fun and wanted to hang out and we had fun together, I'm not going to throw her away. I'm not going to say you're an awful, vile human. Get away from me. No, I'm going to enjoy our time together. But how much effort am I going to look for that person? Nothing, because I spent 10 years in my 20s looking for that person and I got burned every time. So it's just easier to chase your dreams. And if it falls in your lap, it falls in your lap. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But when you keep yourself emotionally detached and don't make it a priority or your value in the world, you're going to be much happier.
Correct. And it's interesting because I've had a few more comments from Baby Yoda, and it's really interesting because the progression of these comments basically arrived at the same conclusion, maybe with a different perspective. But he said, I used to be a MGTOW and still am apart from having a girlfriend. My girl shares my views on women. So what am I? And then he said,
you're you. Why label it? Who cares?
Right. And then he said, where is it here? MGTOW, you need to elevate yourself from being desperate. Do your manly thing and it will naturally come. That's exactly what you were just saying, Joker.
Yep.
It's exactly what you were just saying. And I totally agree with that 100%. And then he said, either do that or sling your mud. It's your option. I'm not angry. I'm happy to talk about why men are emasculated in this channel. Seems like a lot of men have lost their balls. And I totally agree with that as well, Baby Yoda.
That's why we do these channels, by the way.
Exactly.
There's young men out there that haven't been through these experiences and need to hear from somebody that understands it.
Correct. So that they can become more masculine rather than being emasculated by, their single parent if they don't have a father around, for example, or by their teachers or by their university lecturers. So this is the thing. And it's not even about, thumping our chests or being like, oh, look at me, I'm a man. Like that's not a man. That's just showing off, right?
Right.
Like for me, being a man is just, really understanding the world around me, knowing exactly who I am, knowing what I want and knowing how to get it without throwing myself at the feet of people who don't have my best interests at heart. It's just as simple as that for me. Like that's just where it is. And Baby Yoda says, whatever you want it to be yourself. Again, totally agree with you, Baby Yoda. And then ironically, he said, debunked MGTOW in 5 minutes. It's like, but I mean, we're on the same page, right?
Right. And here's the thing that MGTOW, there's no, hold on. Let me get my MGTOW book. Oh, wait, there isn't one. Men going their own way, or being a bachelor, it's not about debunking. It's not that there's a set of rules. It's not that to do this and you must be this. And there are guys out there that are they call themselves the red pill or going their own way. And all that really means to most people is it's a philosophy. It's how do I be happy with what I'm given? How do I be happy with not worrying about how society judges me? How do I be happy by not worrying about what women think of me? And, you can call it anything you want. You can call it self-confidence if you want to.
Yeah, 100%.
But being, whether you want to call it men going their own way, it's for me at least, it's not about hating women. I love women.
Absolutely not.
I'm one of those guys that, look, I can say that I'm not currently into dating, but if I'm on a beach and a beautiful figure walks by and she's attractive, I'm going to look at her. I'm going to appreciate her. It just means I don't trip all over myself to try to go introduce myself and step on my tongue. It just means I look at her and I appreciate her. Now, if she were to come talk to me, we'd have a nice, normal conversation. I wouldn't ask her out. I'm not going to try to hit on her. I just talk to her as if it were you coming up to me on a beach. We have an interesting conversation. And that's the end of it. It's knowing that you have worth. It's knowing that you don't have to feel bad about yourself because you don't meet certain societal pressures or certain societal desires. Just be your best person that you can be for yourself and be happy, and you're good. That's all really this is all about.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, right, people say to me, what's MGTOW? I'd say, well, it's a philosophy in which we as men say no to those who do not have our best interests at heart.
Right.
For me, that's what it is.
Yeah, the only person that's ever going to always have your best interest at heart is you. That's guaranteed. You can never stop somebody from not loving you anymore. You can never keep a woman that wants to leave you. You can't keep your friends from getting married and moving off. You can't keep your family from dying. The one person that's going to be with you and support you and have your best interest every single day for the rest of your life is you. And it's only you. And that's all we try to come across in this channel is you have value, and your value is to yourself. And so if I'm happy building an old school bus into a van or a house and driving that bitch around North America and making 15 grand a year, because that's enough to put money in my pockets, if that's what makes me happy, then that's what's right for me. But if I do the same thing and I drive up to an oil field and make $150,000 a year, or I pick up a welding job and I make good money, but I still live the same way, am I any happier or less happier or more desirable or less? Who cares? It's doing what I want to do, when I want to do, how I want to do it. And I'm not going to make my life choices based on what a woman would find attractive, because I that's not why I'm living my life.
That's right. Exactly. So, I mean, the moment we start living our lives for us, we automatically elevate ourselves. And, if we do want to be in a relationship and we do want to attract a partner that's at a higher caliber of what we're currently attracting, then that's what we have to do. If that's our goal, right, we need to work on ourselves first, because chasing them does not benefit you. It doesn't help you. It makes you look desperate. Girls know when you're chasing them. They know, because so many guys chase them. Stop chasing women. Start attracting them if you want to have women in your life, and then you can pick and choose.
Yeah, the best way I've always found to get a woman to be attracted to you is to not pay her any mind and not worry about her. And not to be a dick. I'm not saying to be a jerk. I'm just saying just do your own thing. And if you're happy with your life and you're happy doing your thing and you're not worried about what anybody thinks of you and you're not worried about anything else and you're just focusing on your happiness, other people can sense that about you. And other people want to be a part of your life if you're a good, happy, enjoyable person. And the minute you turn around and go, please like me, that comes off of you like a dead body and they want nothing to do with it. So just do your own friggin' thing. That's all these channels are about. Now you do articles and I do articles where I'll read an article that's written by a woman that says XYZ and I can't believe men. And yeah, we make fun of it a little bit of the double standard, but part of that is showing you that no matter how great you make yourself. I just did a video about Tom Brady, who is a model, who is 6'3" or 6'4", who is the best athlete in football that's ever lived. His wife is bitching at him because he's not doing things around the house. You're never going to get there. So don't worry about it. Just do your thing.
Exactly. And as Hammerhand said, and thank you to Marcus Maximus for reminding me of this. I did see it when he said this. Love yourself first. Don't look for it in a woman, because in order for others to love you, you must truly first love yourself. And I'm not saying be a narcissist. I'm not saying, be a me person. But you have to actually, but you have to care about yourself first, because no one else is going to care about you first. They're too busy caring about themselves first.
Yep.
And rightly so, as they should.
Yep. The
But
people
that doesn't mean that you can't be considerate of others.
Yeah, when you look on now, I do have Instagram, of course. So when I tell people, you want to get off social media, I don't mean that like literally on everything. But all you have to do is look at someone's social media account, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, whatever. If you see pictures of other people, if you see pictures of places, if you see pictures of things, those are what interests somebody, and they want to share those experiences with other people. When you see selfies and you see pictures of oneself over and over and over and over, and you're describing how you feel and how you see the world and that is someone that is empty inside, and they must be filled with other people's validation and love. When you're good with yourself and you look on someone's social media, all you should see is other things, because I'm not the center. I'm not the center of my own world. Everything around me is the center of my world. But when someone is unhappy and empty, they have to fill their lives with everybody else's adulation because they're empty.
Exactly. Like I've just gone to Instagram, right? And I've clicked on explore, because that tends to give you, I guess,
what's hot and interesting or whatever.
What's hot and interesting. I'm just going to find a photo, like one photo on my explore tab, right? So let's do this live, right? I'm gonna
well, while you're doing it, show your Instagram, but go to mine real quick, and I'll use my own as an example. It's the underscore unknown underscore adventure.
Here we go.
Yeah, right, top one. Yep. So these are from all my travels around the world. Now, yes, I did put a Christmas selfie up there, but I do street art. I do keep scrolling down because that's just the stuff that I did in the United States when I was working on my bus. But if you scroll down, as a matter of fact, you'll probably see some stuff that you recognize. Man. It's Hokkaido, Japan. It's me getting my tattoo in the Philippines. It's Thailand. But it's all over the world, and it's the people that you meet, and it's the places that you see, and that's how you fill your life, is with other things and other adventure and art and beauty and other countries and food, right? So, but when you go on a lot of these women's ones and you look in there, all they are is just selfies and selfies and selfies and selfies.
So let's just do this, right? Explore. Now, I mean, in everyone's explore, I think you'll find that there's some photos. Like you can tell that I'm not like a massive thought follower. Like all these suggested things popping up, like this tells you kind of about the sort of things that interest me. So like, aircraft and stats and, memes and, stories about.
But pick one of those. Pick one of those that has a woman taking a selfie, right? Just click on that and look at her account and see how many are selfies, and
this one's Married at First Sight, so that was always going to be. But let's see this one, right? I don't know who's this. Chelsea Brook Fitness.
Well, it's going to have her probably in a bunch of yoga outfits. Oh, shocking!
Textbook.
Yep, me and my baby. Textbook. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Look at me 3 times.
Yeah.
In the one photo. The partner got one look in. One.
Yep. Oh, she's married?
Hang on. No, he's the father.
Yeah, so he's got one and everything else. So what's most important in her world?
Right.
It's her first. Now maybe the baby first and her. And then he's been lucky enough to be in a couple of pictures.
3 so 4.
Guess who's probably taking most of those pictures?
Exactly.
Yeah, he's now a cameraman.
Yep, exactly.
But you kind of see my point is the only center to her world is her.
Correct.
Now, what do you see of her travels, vacation, interesting things? Nothing. No, it's just me and more of me. Here's me in a different out. She's got at least $3,000 worth of outfits there.
Oh, at least. Oh, here we go. Pumpkin spice latte at home. Jeez.
Oh, does she have the white boots on?
Shocking.
Here
we go. Such a great motivational post. You're killing it. What does it say? Here we go.
1,069 likes. 1,000 people like that because of why? Yeah. But
5,000 on this one.
Yeah, but you couldn't have picked that's her drinking coffee. Wow, you've really opened and widened my life up to the beauty and the splendor of whatever.
This is as far as photos of the travels gets, by having the places she's traveled to in the background.
Yep.
Right? Like
she's got it.
But that's not the subject.
Yep.
This is the point.
She's the subject, and all the beautiful places that she's been to is the background, where it should be just the places. And he's made it in, out of 1,000 photos, he's made it in a solid 6 or 8 I've seen. So good job on him.
It's like Cabo San Lucas. It's like,
where?
What can I see it? Yeah, exactly right.
You could just take. You could have taken that in Sydney and up on a rooftop and just put Cabo.
Right. And no one would know.
Yep. Unbelievable.
Unless someone lived in Cabo and was in that building and you recognized it.
Well, I'm glad the first one you picked made my point 100%. Is that but these are the kind of things that's someone right there that is unhappy. If she posts a photo that gets 0 likes or 3 likes, or
it'll get deleted.
Yep, or her Instagram gets deleted and she loses all her followers, then that's it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'd be really ticked off if my Instagram, or excuse me, if my YouTube got deleted, but that's because of the effort and the messages I send in the videos. But if I had 1,000 pictures of myself and they got deleted, how much are you really losing? Like, go up to the mirror. I mean, damn.
Exactly.
But again, it proves my point. So, that shows you who she loves the most in the world. It's not, it's her, but you notice there was only 1 or 2 pictures of just her baby. The rest were, look, me holding my baby. Look at me holding my baby. Now there's a cover over the baby's head. So I'm just holding a lump as far as you can tell, but look at me, look at the shape that I'm in after getting back to the gym, after having my baby. Really? Can you imagine? Now, can you imagine basing your life off what she thinks of you? But that's what a lot of young guys do. And that's why a lot of men are unhappy and they're depressed, because a woman that's beautiful like she is pays them no mind. Well, guess what? Her husband looked to be about 6'4" and relatively muscular. I don't know if he was good looking or not, because she never showed off his face, but she doesn't even regard him. And she's letting him sleep with her enough to get her pregnant. She doesn't even care enough about him to be in pictures. So who cares if she doesn't think about you or doesn't, or if the women in the club that are 100 times her don't pay you any attention. That's why we say, being a bachelor or being MGTOW or red pill or whatever, don't base your life off that person.
That's right.
And there will be women that will appreciate you, but it's not them.
100%. I totally agree with you so much. And that's just the reality of the situation. And, I know that you've been on here for a while, Joker. So I think it's about time to wrap this up. But
definitely, I've still got to record my videos for the night.
I really wanted to end on this screen grab from the website that I had up just before, because I think that this is really important. Time is precious. Don't waste it.
Yep. And in many ways, sorry to interrupt on this again, but in many ways that shows a father kind of teaching his son to carry on. But a lot of us that don't have kids, just help other men. Have conversations with other guys that are your friends. If a friend's depressed, lend him an ear. If a buddy's going through a hard time, give him some support. If you have a nephew or a niece, even a niece, or a younger person, even if it's female, just be a good shoulder, be a good support, be a good brother, be a good friend, and support other people in your lives.
And even if they're a bit quiet and you're like, man, you all right? Of course they're going to say no, because they don't want to be a burden on you, right? And that's how guys are. As much as people want to say, oh, you need to talk about your feelings, it's like, no, we don't want to talk about it unless we've got solutions, right?
Right.
And quite often we don't see that another person would have the solution to our unique problem. But sometimes having a conversation is what lights up the neural pathways in our brain to actually realize what it is that we need to do. Like, how many times, Joker, have you been having a conversation with someone about something a little perplexing? Then all of a sudden you go, and it's like you go. It's like you got the solution. It just popped in your head and you're like full speed ahead with it.
Oh, it happens a lot. I mean, there's two ways I do my videos. One, I come across a news story that says I want to talk about that. And the other is I look for news stories about things that I want to talk about, that I search for, public thoughts on it. And I like that because otherwise I'm just sitting here spouting at the camera. And for me, that gets, I tend to talk too much. So, but
Yeah.
but yeah, there's a lot of times, and I tried to help my nephews and they didn't listen and they got into a bad place in their life. But getting messages, getting emails, getting messages of guys that say, thank you for your work. That's why we do this. That there are guys.
Rewarding.
I've been in some bad places, and I wish I had people like either you, Coach Greg Adams, Donovan Sharp, Sandman, the names go on and on and on of all those Tom Likas, guys that came before us. I wish I had more of those voices when I was in my 20s and 30s. And yeah, so I think the at least we can do for the community is return it, return it to those that aren't as fortunate.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And that's why, like, for people who don't know, like, I was monetized up until 10,000 subscribers, and I still get donations. And by the way, I appreciate everyone who donates. But I don't do it for that. So it's just like, a show of gratitude towards me on top. And that's how I take it. And I'm very humble by that, because that tells me that people see value in what it is that I say and what I share.
Yep.
And that they've really got something out of that they can then take and apply in their lives to make their life better. And that's why I do this. That's why I've been doing it from 10,000 through to 28,000 subs. Yep. That's why I've been doing this for 3 years after I got demonetized after 1. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, if no one even gave me 1 cent, it's like, so what? You wouldn't have seen the photo of the chick that I dated when I was 18, big whoop, like
right.
But that's where it's at for me.
Yeah.
So
well, for me, I hope that I can keep monetized, because I'd like to do this, and as well as my travel channel. Both of these I can do from the road. Getting a 9-to-5 job somewhere does not allow me to travel. So I hope I can at least retain some of my monetization, because I like the fact that, yeah, say if you want to toss me a couple of bucks, but if I don't get it, YouTube at least shows enough of my ads that I can continue on, and it's enough money to pay for my gas and get me from town to town. But the other thing is too, is once you're demonetized, you're not shared with as many channels, or you're not put on the main page. Look at, when you had, I think,
Solo TV. Trying to set up OnlyFans, but my card declined.
But one of the things why I'm so careful with the way I speak and the topics that I speak about and do the word salad dance is so that I don't get demonetized, because it gets out on the main page and we can get our voices out to more men, rather than feeling like we're stuffed in the dark corner of YouTube where we're shamed and we're a topic that shouldn't be talked about. And that's not fair.
For me, hand on heart, like, that is the best part of being monetized with ads. The fact that you get promoted out so people can hear what you have to say.
Yep.
Because the amount of people I've had, there was a guy who used to call himself Misery Man. And I don't know, maybe he's watching right now. Maybe he will watch this. And I just wanted to give a shout out to him. And he emailed me one day and he's like, listen, I mean, it wasn't his exact words, but to paraphrase, your words have really helped me. And, I got out of a bad situation and I got back on my feet, and I'm not Misery Man anymore. I'm not depressed anymore the way I was. And I was like, man, like that warmed my heart, man. Even if nothing else, for 3 years worth of work, like that there.
Yep. Just getting those couple messages of either you saved my sanity, you helped me dig out of a dark place. And that's not to say that we're great because we did, but when you do hear things like that, it reminds you of yes, we do silly stories, we make fun of people and everything else, but it's making men realize that you're not the only one seeing the hypocrisy. You're not the only one seeing the double standards. You're not the only one that's gone through a hard time.
Right.
You're not the only one that feels like they're alone. There's so many of us here, and it's really probably millions of men. It's just a lot of guys don't know where to find these conversations.
Exactly. Even like Grizzly Boy's been one of my longtime subscribers, man, since I had like a couple of thousand. He said Sydney saved my life, and like I'm speechless. Like this is why I do all of this.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why I get so damn angry when they and to go back to Baby Yoda or whatever, when it says quit being butthurt and just step up and be a man. It's not about being butthurt, and that's one of the things that angers me so much about the MGTOW or the manosphere being treated this way, is that every time they say, well, men need to share their feelings and men need to share their voices and men need to talk about their issues, and men say, okay, well, the first issue I'm feeling is I'm pissed and I'm going to talk about that and I'm going to rant against this, that, and the other. Well, let them get through that.
Rant about double standards.
Yeah, and that's part of getting the anger off your chest. But then to say, well, they're all hateful, misogynist, blah, blah, shove them in a corner. Well, all you're going to do is make them dig deeper and hide further. And you're pushing the issue aside. And that's where men get very bad mental issues. And they either end their own lives or they go out and they start taking out other people. They need ways to vent and talk about this stuff. So it's what makes me more angry than anything is the silencing of men's voices that want to talk about this stuff, because feminism is cheered from the rafters in the Sun, in the UK Mail or whatever, and all these different, and all these different places. But when men say, you know what, I'm not angry, I just want to talk to other men about men's issues. Oh, you're a bunch of angry red pill ass, banned. That makes me angrier than anything.
And look, I guess I can understand. See, here's the interesting thing, right? Because when we talk about feminism, a lot of people say that they're a feminist, but they're egalitarians who've been told that feminism is egalitarian, even though it's not. Right? Because feminism is the advocacy of women's rights on the grounds of the equality of the sexes, but it still remains the advocacy of women's rights and women's rights only, and nothing else. Yep. Egalitarianism is the belief that men and women should both have equal opportunities and equal fair treatment, right? Yep. If you choose not to take advantage of those opportunities, or you're not at that level of merit that someone else is of an opposite sex, then they're going to get better opportunities than you in that area. But then you'll get better opportunities than them in another area where you're more suited. So it all works out in the end, right? And everyone gets to play their strengths, which is ultimately the best way to move through life. But I get that a lot of people who say that they're MGTOW are actually, they're quite angry. They've been through the red pill rage because they've been lied to their whole lives. And they're finally going, wait, so you mean the feminists actually have control of the government, which they do, by the way, and I have ample evidence of this. I mean, you missed this, I think, Joker. We're talking about the Hawaii State Commission on the status of women earlier, and this was literally, and I mean that word as it's exactly as it is. Check this out. The Hawaii State Commission on Status of Women is a statewide feminist government agency. Like, tell me that the government is not run by feminists. Right. Look at that and look me in the eye and tell me it's not.
Okay, so can we have the same thing where we have it for men too?
No, because men have all the privilege, right?
Right.
Back to the power and control wheel. And this is why feminism is a joke. This is why people laugh about feminism. This is why people don't take it seriously. And then feminists go, oh, but we're trying to silence the voices of women. It's like, no, we're trying to silence the voices of idiots.
Right, right.
And I'll be the first to admit that there are some guys out there in the general community that calls themselves MGTOW that are a little or a lot misdirected, and they direct a lot of hate towards women, and they say, all women are, gold diggers. It's like, no, not all women are. All women want certain things from men, and that's their expectations, but that's not always money.
Right.
Because I know, like, for example, for those of you who heard Paul Elam, like him or not, I actually really like some of his work. Paul Elam's done a lot of work helping men, and he had a wife that stuck with him through thick and thin, even when he was poor and struggling. And it's like, so is she like that? Is she a gold digger? Like, obviously not, because she didn't leave when the chips were down.
Right, right. I think part of the problem with what's going on currently is that men get a sense of satisfaction and gratification and a sense of well-being from having a job and being successful at that job and doing well and making good money. Men enjoy that. I know I always have. For me, it's leveling up, man. Oh, I got a raise, I got a promotion, next level. I have to work 12 hours a day, but it's cool because it gives me a sense of accomplishment. And I think a lot of men feel that. Women from at least what most of the reports and the studies are saying, do not get that same gratification. That many women, once they're getting later in their say that again.
It's more about status and recognition than accomplishment.
Right. And once they get into their late 30s, when they wish they had kids or want to have families or are tired of working, then they want to say, I want to let off the gas pedal, and I wish I had somebody to settle with. But the guy at my age at 47, I'm still looking for my next big thing, right? That hasn't left me yet. So by pushing women to take up the workforce and to get better positions, if they want them, that's great. But you are taking it away from men, number one. And number two, you're finding a lot of women that don't want to do it at long term. They want to have a family. They want to settle down. But they want that better guy that makes more money and is better than they are, but they don't exist because they have those jobs from the men. And so there's a balance point where once women start to get the control, once women start to be the bigger bread earners, women start to not need any men anymore, women are also not as happy. Because if you ask me
sometimes they are, but on balance.
Right. I'm not saying all, I never say all, right? But
yeah.
But given the situation, would you rather if you want to be a family at some point and have children, would you rather have your man stay at home and relax and do the laundry, maybe cook dinner, vacuum, play with the kids all day long, maybe homeschool them while you grind away at work, and then you come home and he's got to spend all day with the family and you get a couple hours before you got to go to bed? Or would you say, well, that's not fair. As a woman, I'd want that. Well, that's the way it's been right up until 20, 30 years ago. So they have to find, I think women are still trying to find what they want. And I think it changes in the 30s and the 20s. And I think that until women find out how they want to navigate and how we're going to adjust the power balance between men and women, I think it's a losing proposition. Because while I was at one time a good husband, and I was a provider, and I made six figures, and I had the new vehicle, and I had the house, and if the wife wanted something, I got it for her, and I was happy. But when all that went away and it finally broke my back, I don't make shit, and I don't spend shit, and I don't, I live on my own on a little bus, and I'm not a provider, I'm not an earner, and I'm not a spender. You lost me. All my tax money, I'm retired, and I'm retired very comfortably, but instead of being retired rich, now I'm just retired maybe comfortably, right? There's a difference. Yeah. They lost me. And I think as more men realize that, well, if I'm a great provider and I work really hard and I make good money, well, that doesn't guarantee you the wife. It doesn't guarantee you the kids. It doesn't guarantee you marriage. Well, then why do I need to work that hard? I can work half as hard, have enough money for me, and play video games with my friends on the weekends or go shoot pool. Or they're losing men. And they're losing men to men. Men are leaving for themselves and becoming selfish. And I think in the long run, that'll hurt everybody. I think it does. Exactly.
And, it's interesting what you were saying about the people who, like the ladies who do go through their career, they get into maybe their early 40s and they turn around and they go, oh, look, I'm going to have children with or without a man.
Yep.
This is exactly what happens.
Yep. But
and it's not fair. Like, look, it's not fair that you and I can have kids into our 80s. Like Bernie Eccleston, I was talking about him in the start. He's in his 90s, almost 90s, having another kid. Yep. Right? Like, find me a 90-year-old woman that's had a kid.
Okay, but while that's not fair, Rihanna can go out and let's say she hooks up with some well-to-do singers or rappers or movie stars or whatever, and she says, "No, I'm on birth control," and then she gets pregnant. She's got an out. She's got a check coming in from that guy for the rest of life if he makes more than she does. Now she's got the kid that she wanted. She doesn't need the man because she's got child support. And of course she's earned very well for herself. So I'm not saying that she'd need the child support. She's done very well for herself. But turn Rihanna into everyday average girl. Turn her into average everyday girl. This is the story that I'm going to do tonight. As a matter of fact, I'm recording right after this, is that this woman is desperate for a baby. And so she said she was on birth control, and she went out to the pub and she just found some good looking, attractive guys and slept with them and got pregnant. And now she's got the government help and now she's got, if she gets him for child support, which we know will happen most of the time, and she can say, no, I don't want you in the child's life. It's my choice. And so he becomes basically a donor and a money bank, and that's legal somehow. So of course they don't need to, it's easy for her to do it without a man. But can you imagine a guy saying, well, I lied and I got her pregnant, but I told her I had a vasectomy, but I didn't. And I got her pregnant. And then after she had the baby, I got the baby and she had to pay me $2,000 a month for the next 18 years. Women would lose their shit.
Yeah.
But it's okay if a woman doesn't. It's okay if a woman fishes a condom out of a wastebasket and squeezes it into herself and gets pregnant. That's all okay. There's no laws against that.
Yeah.
But change the roles. No way.
Let's see. Hey, well, while we're talking about that particular topic, Joker, let's bring up this one. And I know that you're across this one. You haven't even told me, and I know because I have a feeling I know some of the groups you're in, because I see topics that you hit up that have come out like that same day or the day before in those same groups. Here we go. This is the one I'm after.
You'll have to share it on the screen there. I just see the Rihanna thing. Oh, there he goes. Oh, I just did that video last night. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yep. And you know what's funny? She left him. She's the one that filed for divorce. So what happens when a guy that's a millionaire actor leaves his not so well-to-do wife, used him for her best years, right? Decides to go date a younger, sexy something, and he ditches her. Well, women scream half. But why not the other way around? Yeah, I just did a 16-minute video on this last night, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, and does he deserve half? No, but neither does any woman that deserves half of every NBA basketball player's $300 million contract. I don't think he deserves half either. But if you're going to play by the rules, egalitarian. What's good for me, good for thee. You know, if you want it, let's have it both ways. So I'm fine with this. I won't cheer for glee because I think the law is bullshit in either direction. But if men are going to have to put up with this, then women do too.
Exactly. And this is so funny. All I had to do to find an equality debate about this Adele marriage, I literally, this is my search term. Feminists mad Adele.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. That's all you got to search for.
Yep.
And here we go. This is what comes up. Right. Adele's rumored $140 million divorce sparks equality debate. Jeff Bezos paid, and so should she. Damn right, she should. Yep.
And I did a 16-minute video on this one last night because the feminists were saying, well, it's not fair. This is not what we wanted out of feminism. It's like, yeah, no kidding. You want all your cake and to eat it too. And so, you know, and my point isn't to shit on Adele. I mean, I feel bad for her. I genuinely mean that. I feel bad for anybody that's earned 150 mil and has to give away half of it. I think that's bullshit. But women have been cheering that happening to men for so long. And then the minute it flips around, they go, wait, this isn't fair. Well, we've been saying that for 20 years. Why all of a sudden? Oh, because it affects you. You can't have it that way. It's got to be good for me and for thee. That's the way it's got to go. So that's why I read off this story. I think it's, look, if this is what you want, you got it. Don't bitch about it now. Equality.
That's exactly right. And what we've seen over the years, and you know, please tell me if you've got a different view on this, joke, or a different observation. But what I've observed is that whenever there's been women's groups that advocate for women's rights, so feminist groups essentially, whenever there's been women's groups that have pushed for things, they always get it, right? So you want more funding for domestic violence, you got it. You want to broaden the definition of domestic violence to include hurt feelings, here you go, silver platter.
Yep.
You know, you want more favorable divorce laws so that when you separate that you can get more, and you can get more because you've got custody of the kids, and you want to remove the penalties in family law court for lying so that you don't get punished and you don't get the kids taken off you and you get to keep everything.
Yep.
No, you're right. But then when it's on the other foot, when the laws that you asked for come back to bite you in the ass.
Unfair.
don't come back to me crying with a box full of tissues and, you know, puffy bags under your eyes because you're all upset that it came back to bite you in the ass. It's like, no, you asked for this.
Yep.
We gave it to you. You messed up.
Not only that, yeah, you get no pity. As a matter of fact, that's why a lot of the articles that I read, the one that I have to read tonight is, I've got 2 articles but the other one I'm doing is, I'm 38-year-old single woman and the coronavirus has ruined my plan to have kids. So apparently 2 months or 3 months, this thing has been here, and now she's going to blame it all on there because she waited till she was 38 to find the right guy. But now, right now, when she wanted to look, for the last 2 months, being isolated has ruined it. They have to blame, not they all, but many women have to blame something for their bad choices. And that's the part of it that just drives me so crazy. And what I think is interesting is there's men's rights activists that are called butthurt, angry incels, or like anything else is. But the other thing that I find interesting is women are getting their way, and they're getting their way more and more and more. And at some point they say, you know what? Men aren't interested anymore. Men, I don't want to participate in this anymore. I don't like these rules. I'm not so interested. And men start going away. And then all of a sudden it's,
Right.
well, wait, where'd all the men go? What's going on? This isn't what we wanted. They're going to back themselves right into their own corner. You know,
it's like, oh yeah, we know that's not what you wanted. We know that. We're fully aware of that. We're conscious of it 100%. But what you wanted doesn't benefit us. All it does is take from us. So why would we give to you when there's nothing in return? Like,
yep.
There's nobody that, like, if you go to work for a job, right? You might get a 200 grand a year job. And like, that's a hard job. You got to put in big hours and big effort and lots of dedication, right?
Yep.
You make that sacrifice in return for something, right? Because you're doing something shitty that you don't necessarily want to do at the level that they're demanding of you, for the reason that you want what they are giving you in exchange.
Right.
And this is something so important that the ladies need to know when having this conversation about them getting what they want. Because if you are going to present us a list that just keeps growing, you know what I mean? Like this huge list, and you've got a list this big, if you have a list at all, you might have one item on that list and you've got 100 on ours. So tell me exactly, like if our thing is that we want to have great sex, and you're like, I want you to buy me a house, I want you to buy me a car, I want you to look after my kids. They're not even your kids, by the way. They're my baby daddy's kids.
Right.
And he's going to be always in the way and all up in your face. And, you know, oh, by the way, I've had kids with 3 different dads. So, well, hang on. Like, health, like,
right.
Am I going to get impacted by your choices health-wise?
Yeah.
And she's like, and, you know, you got to provide, and, you know, I want you to be the man's man, and I want this, and I want that. It's like, whoa, okay, you could just, like you're 5 items into the list, and like, I'm out.
And there's 1,000 left to go, yeah.
Right, and it's not because I can't do these things. It's just like, I can get the one thing on my list without doing any of those 5 things. Right. And you haven't even got to like, and that was just the header of your list.
Right.
It's like this much, and your list is like this big.
Yep.
You know,
and what, you know, men in the past would get that because they got a wife that loved them, and they got the family, and she would at least bring something to the relationship equal to his. Now, whether that's an equal income and they split it, whether that she was a stay-at-home mom and she raised the kids while he worked and she made dinner and whatever. I mean, it all was even. Now, if you wanted to switch that and say he could stay home and cook and do all that stuff, so on and so forth, whatever. But you had to bring equals. Now, women's prize that they bring to the table for are you doing all those things is, I'm here. Well, I'm a woman and I'm here.
Right.
So we're good, right? And men are saying no. So to use your example of that job where you worked really hard for 200 grand, women are asking that men to work just that hard for $5,000, and men are saying, you know what, this is you're asking too much. The value's not there for me anymore. And so I'm electing. Now, some guys will still jump through hoops for a little bit, and that's okay. I get it. But there's so many men that do have self-worth and do have value that they say, you know what? I'm better than you. I deserve better than you. And I'm not going to put up with your crap. I'd rather be alone than to deal with any of this stuff. And when that happens with the law, and it happens with court systems, and it happens with public opinion, and it happens with all these other things, what many women don't understand is I'm fine alone. And I think once men are in their right mindset and they're healthy, they are always a happy alone, because I have computer and I can learn how to program and I can do this and I can tinker on this and I can ride motorcycle. I have more hobbies than I know what to do with. And so if I have to bow out of society, as long as I can make enough to, feed myself and keep me happy, men are going to be okay. So you can squeeze them out. And then what's going to happen is women are going to be fighting at each other. And you're going to have, but until women step up and women say feminism is wrong, and women say the way we're treating men is wrong, and women say we've got to stop this, it's never going to end.
Exactly. By the way, did you see how they were bragging about how they had the feminist government in Finland?
Finland. They're falling apart up there, man.
So I'm just going to share these two little screenshots. Here we go. This was in Forbes magazine. Finland's new government is young and led by women.
Yep.
Let's just check this out, shall we? Because this is actually, to be honest, this is freaking hilarious. And I wanted to say thank you to MGTOW Ghost Sun. This is happy birthday, Sydney. Keep up the good work, Joker. Love the content. We needed someone like you in the manosphere to bring more peace. Stay safe.
Thanks, fellas.
Very kind words from MGTOW's Ghost Sun. And I agree, Joker. Like, I love the way you deliver. It's so peaceful. It's calm. It's centered. And that's, I guess, the way that I've chosen to deliver a lot more in recent times. And I just feel that it's a more valuable proposition for people,
Well, plus, there's so many things that'll piss you off if you get fired up about them. God, you'd be angry all the time. You just have to let go of it at some point and just understand. Now, I'll make fun of it and I'll have a laugh about it. And I'll say that some things bother me, but for the most part, it just is what it is. You're not going to change the world. You just got to figure a way to get through it.
Right. Oh, here we go. So this is more than 3 months old. I'm okay with that. That's fine. Let's write over that article here. I know the Guardian's a bit.
Go back to that other heading for a second. That you just had, the one that was just open about the. Yeah, okay. So if you read that, Finland's new government is young and led by women. Here's what the country does to promote diversity. What's wrong with the last two words of that damn, hey, we're all women, and here's what we're doing to promote diversity. Having all women is not diverse. It's no more diverse than having all men, you dummies.
Exactly. That's the thing. And this is why it's a feminist government, right? Look, here's a go. This is the cabinet. Feminism comes of age in Finland as female coalition takes the reins. So it's basically an all-female, all-feminist government. That's what it is fundamentally at its core. All right. And
they're going to run out of money because they're going to have to go the socialist route, because all feminists want all these programs for everyone. So I can't see how they don't go deep into socialism to pay for it all.
I know, right? I know. Saying, where was this? Let me just quickly bring up this other article that I had on Finland. It was gold, actually. Finland. Here we go. It's funny what you're saying about socialism, right? Because I have this here.
Yep.
There we go. Finland's government collapsed under the weight of socialized healthcare.
And what's the date on this that they're referring to? Is it just recently, or
this is last year, 2019?
Yeah.
This is in March 2019.
Yeah, that's the problem with a lot of these programs. And feminists say, well, we want this, we want for these groups. And I don't want to get too deep into politics here, but there's many of them that are saying, that that we need to take care of marginalized communities, and we need to take care of, and we need programs for this and this and this. Well, all those programs cost money, and money, there's nothing free from the government. The government is just taking your money from you and redistributing it in ways that may not be best for you. So we're going to be in so much problems just from the month of socialism that's been around the world for the last 30 days with everything that's going on of trying to pay people out of the government's pocket while not bringing in enough. Can you imagine trying to do this full time? The global economy will collapse.
And then 1 year and 2 months, 1 year and 2 days after that article was written about the issues with the healthcare system crumbling under the weight of socialized healthcare, fight against coronavirus in Finland, hampered by lack of leadership.
Yep. They don't have a decisive leader, so they're trying to do everything by let's all agree to do X. And when they don't agree, nothing moves forward.
Correct, because they don't want to get they don't want anyone to get upset at them.
Yep.
Right? No one can actually say, well, look, I know you guys don't like this, but I'm the leader, so I'm doing this.
And the same thing,
confirmation bias,
right? And I'll say the same thing could happen with 4 men or even 1 man. I mean, you look at what Trudeau's doing in Canada, and he's crushing Canada right now. Canada's probably going to have some so it's not necessarily even women versus men kind of thing, but it's don't tout them as the second coming just because they're women. It doesn't make them any different, better, worse than anybody else. And
right.
You know, it's not to cheer women for doing something because it's the first time a woman's ever done it. Yeah, you can say it's a good thing that we've broken that stereotype, but don't go on to say that it's diverse and it's better just because it's a woman, because now you're going in the opposite version of a patriarchy. Now you're just pushing for a matriarchy, and that's no better than it was the other direction. It's no more fair.
What they want, Joker. That's what
I understand. That's what they want, but when they get it, what they realize then is if women are in charge and women have to work and women have to do all this, what happens when a woman gets tired and doesn't want to do it anymore? What happens when a woman says, you know, I just wanted a guy that can work hard and I can just be a stay-at-home mom and relax. Tough shit. Men, you make all the money. You're doing all the working now. Now you know how we feel. Because as a man, if I have a family, I don't get to quit. I don't get to earn less money. I have to keep at that grind wheel, keep my shoulder to that stone to pay for my children and to pay for my family. And if it's not enough, I need to go get a part-time job. And if that's not enough, we're in trouble. Now imagine that pressure on a woman. They won't want it, but that's what they're asking for. But the minute you go, okay, man, it's all on you. I don't have to get a job. I'm a stay-at-home dad. I'm good. You know, you wanted this power, you go get it. They'd blame us again for it. But how many husbands can blame the wife for staying home, not getting a part-time job? Never.
0. And if they do, watch out.
Exactly. But if the wheels if it were reversed and a guy said, nah, man, I'm homeschooling the kids. I make sure the house is done. According to an article I read last week, that's worth $163,000 a year for all the housework women do. Well, I'm doing it now, so I'm worth $163,000. You know, it'd fall apart. The only reason
your game will work.
That's right. The only reason this hasn't fallen apart yet is because men say, number one, I don't care what you're saying. And number two, it's BS. Because if everybody bought into this, the economy, everything would collapse. And it's not because women can't do it. It's because ultimately women won't be happy doing it.
Yes. And it's only when collectively, as a noisy community, women are unhappy with something, whatever that something is, that things around that something that they're unhappy with change.
Yep. Well, feminism only works when you have an opponent. I mean, think about this, okay? We want this. Okay. We want this. Okay. We want this. Okay. We want everything. Okay. There you go. What's next? There's no point where they go, okay, we're good. We've got everything we wanted. Thank you. Nope. It's always more because they need to have the fight is what the fight is. You know, without the fight, feminism falls flat on its face because everybody stands around and says, you realize this isn't going to work, right? But they just want to complain and complain and complain. It's
against the wall. As soon as the resistance that they're pushing against falls away, they go.
That's right. They fall flat on their face. So so what many people are doing, and I actually It's why I'm not. It's why I'm not a men's rights activist. Give them everything they want. Go ahead. I know for a guy that's going his own way, that sounds crazy. I don't give a shit. Give them everything they want, because it won't last very long. It'll collapse under its own weight. You give a woman everything she wants. Yeah.
There's a senior journalism lecturer at University of Technology Sydney. Her name is Jenna Price. She's a nut job feminist, and she was saying that when a heterosexual couple break up, the men, they should be required to register that separation with the police and mental health services, and the men should remain under police and mental health services observation.
Okay, fine. I'm okay with that. You know why? Because number one, men will go, it's just one more reason for me not to have a kid. It's one more reason for me to not get married. It's one more reason for not getting involved with women at all. Me personally, at 35, I got snipped. I can't even have an accident. I can't have an accidental kid. At some point, men are just going to say, no more. No more. You put a bachelor tax on them, men will say, okay, I only need to make, I'll make as minimal as I need to men have really weird ways of fighting the system. Women want to do marches. Women want to bitch. Women want to write articles in news magazines. But how many of those do you see men doing? None of it. Not really. Because men really were kind of, we're a little bit more low-key asshole, where we'll just go, all right, if I need to pay a bachelor tax for making over 30 grand a year, I just make 29.9. I'll live as cheap as possible. I'll make some scratch under the side. I'll go work construction under the table. Men will find ways around it. Yep. But you're not going to ever get a man
just like a little silent one.
Exactly. You're never going to get a man to do what he wants. And then when women go, you know what? I now have to work. Think about this. Women don't think about this. Okay, women, college at 18 to 22. Now you have to work for the next 53 years until you can retire. Or 43 years until you can retire. Go. If you put it that way, women go, F that. I only wanted to do this to enjoy and get a little extra money, and then I want to get married. And nope, the laws are too bad. No men are marrying anymore. No men want any part of it, because eventually men will wise up. And because more young men are listening to channels like ours, and more men are going to be burned like we were. And it'll just keep going and going and go. So eventually they tighten down the reins too much. The slaves will revolt. The slaves will say, nope, no more. Now we can either have it that way, or they can ease off and stop being crazy. I'm curious to see what will happen first, because I'll tell you now, I can easily pack up my bags and I can be chilling like a villain on a beach in Thailand and retire down there for $250K a year. And don't think I'm not going to do it. Because by the time I'm probably 55, I'll be down there with some little 23-year-old little Thai chick and be my cleaner and my maid and have a nice little apartment right out on the beach. And I'll retire down there. And you're not going to get any more taxes from me. I'll move all my money. I'll get rid of my Social Security. I'll just give away my rights as an American citizen. One way or another, they won't get it from me.
Come on over to Thailand. We can hang on the beach and I'll buy you a beer.
That's what I'm saying. Buy me a 20-cent beer that's delicious. But men will find a way. Men will find a way to escape this. Only women will just earn stupid men.
This is a very interesting comment from Marie. She said women are shamed and screened up by feminists as well. We're told to essentially fall in line, or we will send women back 50 years. I honestly just stopped talking to feminists. I actually think that is the majority of women, but because they're not given a platform in the mainstream media, because the media is so feminist driven, but it doesn't get heard.
Well, men can't speak to that because we're then called patriarchal. We're just butthurt that we're not in control anymore and blah, blah, blah. The only ones that can push back are women against feminists. Because as a man, as a white man, I can't talk about racial issues, about any racial issue anywhere. I can't talk about women's problems, any woman, anywhere. The only thing I can talk about is white male problems, and we don't have any problems because we're the patriarchy. So my voice is worthless. So the only way feminisms go back is when women that don't agree with it step up, and even if you're shouted back and said, well, you just believe, whatever. Enough women have to start having enough voices to tell the 10 or 15% of these very strong feminists to F off. It's got to be the 85% of women that do that. But if they just sit on their thumbs and say, and I'm not shaming any women that don't, because I get it. I mean, it's very hard to scream against the world when you're being silenced. But until those women step up, what happens when your son is blamed for a fake rape? What happens when your husband is something claimed against him that's not true. Well, it's as good against those men as any men. So men across the board are going to be hurt, and the only ones that can speak up against it are women, because as men, we're told that we're haters, we're misogynists, that we're patriarchy, that we're all this other stuff. The only ones that'll ever be able to beat feminism are women, and they're the ones that have to fight. They are the ones that have to fight back.
Exactly, because I mean, even though we're the ones with all the responsibilities, we don't get any of the benefits. And I'm going to prove this, right, on a governmental level, the U.S. government. Let's have a look at this. The United States government, USA.gov, who must register with selective service.
Yep.
Almost, and you know this, Joker, so don't spoil it for people who aren't in the US. Almost all men aged 18 to 25 who are US citizens or are immigrants living in the US are required to be registered with selective service. US law calls for citizens to register within 30 days of turning 18, and immigrants to register within 30 days of arriving in the US. Now, men in the US on student, visitor, or diplomatic visas, and women, as an absolute, women are not required to register. For other exemptions and for transgender people, see the Who Must Register chart. Now, if we actually flick down, right, and have a look at this, what happens if you don't register? Because this is the important part. If you are required to register and you don't, which, by the way, if you have a vagina, you are not required to register, you will not be eligible for federal student aid, federal job training, or a federal job. That means you cannot get a job with the government, you cannot get a student loan to go to university, and you cannot get any job training funded by the government, period. On top of that, you may be prosecuted and face a fine of up to $250,000 US and or jail time of up to 5 years. So you could get in prison for 5 years and have to pay $250,000 US just because you're a male between 18 and 25 and you didn't register. That's the penalty. But if you're a woman, it's like you can just get your student loan and off to uni you go.
Yep. But if you look at Israel, everybody needs to sign up with their military for at least, I think they do 2 years. But the women are trained just like the men. But if war were to break out and you're worried about women being on the front lines, do you know how many administrative jobs, how many safe jobs back here at the United States on a military base a woman could be doing, not even going to the front lines, but they still should take the training just for self-defense, just for self-confidence, everything else. I know Israel, and I think Palestinians, I forget who else, Egyptians maybe, I don't know. There's other countries that do it as well. That's the biggest problem I have with all of everything, is just if every law were the same across the books and treated the same way. I don't care what you write in the newspapers. I don't care. My job's done. Once all the laws are even across the board, job's done. But when they're writing specific laws that if a man does this and a woman does this, a woman and a man go on a date. He has 2 drinks. She has 2 drinks. They decide to fool around. She later feels bad about it. He goes to jail. He later feels bad about it. Well, tough shit.
She later admits she did it because she didn't want her boyfriend to
exactly
think that, right. And then what does he get? It's like,
well, he gets let out of jail. He doesn't get it. Yeah, 2 years. He doesn't get any compensation, and she doesn't get any punishment. So how is this even in any way, sense, or shape, or form? So, but there's so many young men are just like, man, I just want to go out and get laid and have a little fun. And they don't understand. They don't. Me too. I was that guy. But they don't understand what can happen to them if they get the one crazy one that'll throw them under the bus.
And every guy that's going to get married, and you'd say, oh, man, I don't know if you should get married. They're like, oh, but she's not like that. It's like, yeah, neither was every other woman that's ever been married by a guy.
Yep.
Right? None of them were like that until after they got married. And then the ones that were like that became like that post-marriage.
Yep. Every single one. And if you said to a guy, okay.
Well, they were like that, but it just wasn't obvious at the time.
Right. I mean, both my marriages.
Guys just led themselves to the slaughter like a lamb anyway.
Yep. And both, my buddy Ed's marriage, my marriage, they didn't end in hellfire and brimstone. Just the bedroom dried up. We felt more like roommates with our wives.
Yeah, I guess.
But we were still expected to mow the lawn and support the family, and we were still supposed to be the provider. But we should feel lucky. We get lucky once a month. We get laid once a month. What, but so if she decides that she wants to sneak around behind your back and have some other dude, and you don't find out about that part, but you're not just getting it, having your fun in the bedroom, what is your benefit now? A friend, you have someone cool to hang out with, but you have to pay half of everything, and she steals half your crap. It's just not worth it anymore. So,
Joker, you know what I reckon with the selective service, by the way, just to finish off on that particular topic, I reckon that, look, I'm a pretty chivalrous kind of guy as far as someone who is egalitarian goes, right? I'm even happy to absolve women of a financial punishment and the jail time if they don't register for selective service. However, if you don't register, you don't get the student loan, you don't get the federal job training, and you don't get the government jobs.
And you don't get any, and you don't get any help from the government if you have a kid. No. You'll get enough money for the kid as far as $300 for diapers and maybe some food for him, but that's it.
Yeah. So tell us which one you want, whether you want to not get any of that stuff and not register for the draft, or whether you want to register for the draft and get that stuff.
And the draft hasn't
facilitate that, no problem.
Yeah, and the draft hasn't been used since the Vietnam War, or anyway. So I mean, what's the thing? All right, man. I gotta bail. It's getting close 12:30 here. I might not even get my video out for tonight. But happy birthday to you. Nah, it's all good. It's all good. I gotta tomorrow's Saturday. I'll record one during the day or something. But happy birthday to you. Welcome to the 40s. As I tell everybody, once they get to the 40s, you get a couple more lines. Every once in a while, you'll sleep wrong. You might have a little sore spot, but you know what? Life just gets better. It just gets easier, I think. So,
absolutely.
Welcome to the club, my friend.
100%. Well, Joker, you're a gentleman and an engineer. I was going to say a scholar, but I'm like, I don't know that you are a scholar. That you're definitely an engineer. Man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Love wisdom as always. Looking forward to catching your video tomorrow. May you be monetized for many, many years to come.
Hope so. Keep getting the word out.
Keep getting the word. Exactly. And I'll catch you next time around, man.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
No worries. Catch you later.
All right.
Guys, that's the end of that. I'm going to go and chill out now. But look, as always, I just wanted to thank everyone who's donated during the stream. I really appreciate you guys. I also wanted to give a quick mention to the super chat that I got just before from Chineb Man. Said for $14.99 donation, said women need to rein in their happy sisters and happy birthday, mate. Yeah, look, the only people that are going to be able to stop feminism are the ladies. It's as simple as that. Right? We can push back, we can make it harder, but the only people that can stop them are other ladies. That's just how it is. Anyway, guys, I am out of here. If any of you do want to, if any of you are using Google Chrome or another browser and you're wanting to look to greener pastures, head on over to citymigtow.com/brave. As you can see below, check out Brave browser. Man, this is like all mirrored, so it's kind of hard to get. But it's got the same extensions as Google Chrome, and it does help to support this channel. If you do want to support this channel financially, patreon.com/citymigtow, paypal.me/citymigtow, and there's always the super chat option. But the best thing that you can do to help the word get out, to help other guys, is to give a thumbs up, share this video, drop a comment, interact, and continue to do so for any other videos that I have. It does really help to get the word out, and exactly the same with other content creators. If you call Solo TV 84 at the start of the stream and you want to go check him out, Solo TV 84 on Instagram and also on YouTube. And if you were enjoying Joker that I just had on, head on over to Better Bachelor on YouTube and check out what he's up to over there. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here for now. I really appreciate you all. Thank you for coming and joining me for my birthday stream. Much appreciated. Much love to all of you. And I will check out that DM from your successful endeavors, and I catch you guys next time. Peace. And thank you, Laura Salo, for pushing back. We need more of you. Thank you.